His back and his arms move, flips his thumbs up in the air. Fonzie's cool, not a square. Fonzie, Fonzie's a Fonz.
It's Fonzie from the Happy Days collection with thumbs up action. Fonzie, new from Mego.
Mom.
Yes?
I just got pulled over by the cops.
Are you alright?
Yeah, but I told them I was speeding because I was racing home to you because you fell watering the plants. So I need you to go outside and lay on the ground and pretend that you're hurt.
Okay, I'm going out right now.
Alright, okay, bye. She's right over here, officer.
Officer, help me! I can't get out!
Mom, I'm kidding. There's nobody here.
Fuck you, David. Are you fucking serious?
Are you ready, Wendy?
Yeah.
All right, here we go. We're gonna dance with these people tonight. Who's first? Oh, it's Bobby Fran. Everyone dance. We're dancing with Bobby Fran. Yeah. Oh, it's Craig. This is from the Blind Mike Show. Yeah, Craig. Craigers. Here we go, Craigers. Oh, dance. Oh, there's Quadfather. Hey, we're dancing with Quadfather. Oh, there's Cardiff. Look at Cardiff. Oh, we're dancing. Oh, there's Christian and Eric. He's so gay on the right there. He sucks so much cock. But the guy on the left is very nice. Oh, look at this. Look at our boys from the No Filter and BYB. We got B. Look at Andrew. We got Bobby Nick. We got Mr. A. We got the weirdo. Hey, look at them all. Yes. Dance babies. Dance baby dolls. Yeah, dance. We got everyone. We're dancing in the. Oh, we got Joey C. And we got one. We're dancing with Joey C. This is everyone. Everyone dance. Because we are dancing in a way that no one's ever danced in the Dabbleverse before. That is right. We got Joey C. We got one. Oh, we got Bobby Fred again. But guess what? We're going to number two. And number two. Oh, look at that. We got Phil Elmo. Everyone got Phil Elmo. He's doing the pop lock from Moloch. Yes, he's doing it. That's right. Look at him move. Woo. Woo. Phil. Phil. Yeah, Wendy, you in the set.
White people you can sing it to, just change that N to a W. Miss my wigger. Just say, I really miss my wigger.
And B. Dabbler said Carl called today to come on WATP.
He didn't call.
Even though it's Cardiff's spot, I'll do it anyway. I'm a piece of shit. I don't care about my friends. It's all about my career. And getting fucked in the rear end. That's all right.
I have a career.
That's
it's not
okay.
Really, it's not this. This is kind of more fun. Oh, sorry.
Just forget it. I'll save it for my channel.
It's beautiful.
Where people actually watch.
Hey, we have 48 beloved chatters right now. Wait, am I gonna get like a strike?
I like this one.
I hope so.
Trying to get him strikes. Playing music.
I think I would have gotten a strike for the first thing I played anyway if I was going to get a strike for various songs.
I said the F word earlier too. I wish I wouldn't have said that. I apologize.
No, stop it.
Be dab.
You want some tacos?
I ain't fucking Mexican. I was a fucking fried chicken, bitch. I'm fucking black. Is you blind?
We're doing it! Come on, everybody. Let's get in here. We're doing it. Happy Monday. What is going on? Happy Monday. I am the man, BF Bobby Fran, and welcome to the Midday Get Your Week Started podcast, BF Live 26. How is everyone doing? I hope we all find yourselves blessed and in a good place coming here this Monday. We got the short week coming up with the holiday weekend, so we're going to talk about all the fun that's involved with getting together with the family members that you only see once a year, all the things around that. We have a great guest today, a guy that we've got to know doing other podcasts. Comedian Pat Oates is going to be our special guest here on BF Live today. I really like him. I keep up with him on Facebook. He's a funny, interesting guy, a busy guy, and I've been trying to get him on here for a while, so I'm very happy to announce that I got Pat Oates joining us today. So he's going to come hang out with us and start our week off on a positive note. I see people checking in the chat family check-in, so we'll get around that. Before we do that, though, let's bring in our friends. Let's bring in, he's the man. He's got all the explosions and everything going on. He's the man with the plan. He's Scott Fitzpatrick. Come on in here, Scott. Let's go. Come on. Come on. Boom. Fire. What is up, buddy? I got you muted, buddy. Man, I might have done that one in the preview. Can you? Let me see if I can unmute you. Oop, I got you. Let me unmute. There you go. Now we're doing it.
We're doing it.
What's up, buddy?
Not too much. How's it going?
Oh, it's going pretty good, man. We're getting ready just to start off this next week of podcasting, and I know that it's a short week, and it's on everybody's mind that it is Thanksgiving. So I think people are just trying to get through Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and get right to Thursday to football and eating and avoiding family members that you haven't seen in years, right?
Yeah. Yep. That's what I'm doing.
That's what you're doing. Sounds like everybody
family.
Avoiding the families. Do you are people coming to see you? What is your plan for Thanksgiving, or do you have one?
Well, usually probably about 20 of us gather at my mom's house.
Yeah.
But there's been a little family ripple this year that's going to be uncomfortable and awkward. I'm not looking forward to Thanksgiving.
I'm familiar with that, brother. I'm familiar with that.
Inheritances and stuff is
all the fun stuff.
Got ugly. Yeah, it got ugly.
Yeah, it's interesting. We all have different families and different levels of family. Some people are closer than others. And yeah, Scott, I'm really feeling your comment, bro, because we've had some people get older, people pass in the family, and then people aren't as close as they used to be. So I know we all have different family dynamics. Some of us really don't have much family at all. But what I really love is that we have chat family. We're all here for each other, man, and it's a big thing. So if you don't have a lot of family, close family, or if you are not really feeling your family now and don't want to be around them, just know that you always have chat family here, and we're going to be hanging out on a lot of different shows this week. Chris and I are going to do a Replayables. Wednesday is one of our normal days, so we're going to do a little Thanksgiving kind of show on Wednesday. So we're looking forward to that, to everybody kind of unwinding, sitting back, maybe like smelling your cookies turk. Cookies turk. Wait a minute. Turkey's cooked. Whoa, I'm dyslexic already there, Scott. Yeah, so we're looking forward to that. Hopefully everybody's like sitting home, like cooking their turkey or settled where they're at on Wednesday, and they join us at 8 p.m. East for Replayables Thanksgiving edition. Let's bring in one more friend in here. He had a long trip. He came from the Great White North, but he's here anyway. It's Bobby Nick Havens. Come on in, Bobby.
Hello, everybody. And
What's
Bobby
up, buddy?
friend, I hope you have a good turkey. What the hell did you say?
Wait a minute. Look, I know what this is about, because I was going to give you some shit too, because Bobby and Nick, they already had like weird Canadian Thanksgiving like a week or so ago, right?
Well, no, it's actually last month.
Last month, Christ, I was way off, bro. I know we talked about it and we busted your chops about Canada having the Thanksgiving way too early up there, but you said it's for a good reason, because your seasons are much shorter up there, so the expected harvest happens a lot sooner, right?
Yeah. The summer doesn't last as long, and so you can fall a lot sooner. So yeah.
Yep, and I know we always see you kind of in your chair. You're kind of solitude, and also, do you going to be hanging out doing podcasting on Thanksgiving? Like, what's your plans for Thanksgiving, there, brother?
Well, I mean, I podcast every day, so I don't.
Dude,
I don't tell Andrew telling me to take a day off, so I don't
know. Andrew tells you to take a day off. That's funny. That's funny.
Well, he's my boss,
he's your boss. Yeah, well, that is true in a way. I see it. I got people checking in with the chat family. I just want to let y'all know that Stormy checked in with us. She might be joining us later. For those of you know Stormy, she's been a little bit under the weather. She thinks she might have a little strep. She's going to check out the doctor. She said she might pump in some medicine and join us later. Either way, we hope she's feeling better. and maybe she'll join us a little later soon when we have our guest Pat Oates on, who'll be coming along hopefully about 12:30 or so. Looking forward to having Pat Oates on there, Bobby.
Yeah, it's been a while. I've always loved Pat Oates, and it'll be a blast. It'll be a blast.
Yeah, well, it'll be nice catching up with him and all the things that he's up to that I see him on social media. You know, you feel like you know people because you see them on social media.
Yeah.
So I really like to have a little time and sit down and talk to him and get to know him. So hopefully we'll get the chance to hang out a little bit and do that later and see what his Thanksgiving plans are. So yeah, Bobby Nick. So I know for people that have, like Scott said, we have weird or ever-changing family dynamics, people arguing over this and that, people that don't want to be around each other, or you might have little family, but you always got chat family here. So you can always catch up with us at BF Live. You can see us on Replayables, and you can always see these guys on No Filter with Andrew and Friends. They're basically on like every day of the week at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
100%.
Cool. Hey, did you guys know? Let's we'll do a little chat family check-in, and then you'll see that I had a little name change occur last night, and I'll play a little clip of how that happened. So let's make our way up to that. Well, first of all, we'll put the date up here just to put it up. Today is November 20th, y'all. It's Monday, November 20th. We are seems like we're steaming our way to towards Christmas, but let's get Thanksgiving out of the way first, one holiday at a time. And until then, let me get my little brand thing going on here, and we'll do our little chat family check-in. How about it? Let's go.
Talk amongst yourselves. Talk amongst yourselves. Talk amongst yourselves.
We see there's at least 11 in here now, and we appreciate you. There's other shows going on. People try to encroach on my area, but everybody knows that Monday is made for BF Live. We don't care about no stinking Vince the Lawyer and all these other shows going on. We're not about that. So let's get right into the chat family check-in and let's start hitting them. There you go. All right. We don't need that one. There's a simple one at the top that's pinned. It just says it's the PayPal donate and comment page, and thank you in advance for that. Please hit thumbs up, subscribe free to my channel BF Live, and help me get to 500. I want to appreciate everybody. Express my appreciation last week. Everybody was generous and subbed to my page, and I hope the trend keeps continuing and get me up to 500, and we'll get to monetization real soon. It's my lovely sister checking in. Hello, Kathy. And there's a person who's really she's really kept our family together throughout the years and always having a good Thanksgiving. Make sure for our family, and I'm looking forward to seeing her tomorrow. So I'll be seeing you at some point after the Macy's Day Parade tomorrow. Kathy, you know how that goes. Scott, are you a fan of that Macy's Parade on Thanksgiving morning? You like to get up and watch that?
No, I don't watch it. I was just getting ready to ask you that. I don't watch it. I never have.
I never have, really. I do. It's kind of been a family tradition that we grew up on watching the Macy's Parade, and my girls have gotten into watching the dog show afterwards, the Kennel Club, so they've learned all the breeds of the dogs by sitting there and watching that. So it's just something good to put on in the morning. You know, you watch the little floats go by when you're sitting there with the crust in your eyes and you're drinking your coffee, and hopefully you're smelling some good things to being cooked in your house if you're cooking something. How about you, Bobby Nick? Is Macy's Parade ever on your radar up there in Canada?
I've seen it before, but not really, since it does represent Thanksgiving, and our Thanksgiving is not.
Oh, so it's like weird timing, way off. But the floats are really cool, and it's just, to me, it's like the kickoff of the holiday season. You know, right now it seems like as soon as the Halloween's over, they're pushing you into Thanksgiving, Christmas, and they're just forcing the end of the year. So I like the benchmarks that let me know when the holidays are coming, and this is one of my benchmarks. So I'll be looking forward to that. Hey guys, check this shit out. We got the lovely Gina Levy checking in. Look at this. And she's saying, Gina. Buffalo Bobby friend. Here you go. You get a kiss for her. Hello, Gina. How you doing? It was nice hearing you over the shoulder of Bob last night, and she witnessed me getting the new name Buffalo Bobby friend. Bobby Nick, I got a new name too.
Okay, so now, how did you get the name Buffalo Bobby friend?
Well, I just like American Cupcake, and you got what was your name? Did he got you?
Salad tosser Bob.
Yeah, salad. Yeah.
Salad Bob. Yeah.
Yeah, Silent Bob. Right, and why not Silent? We just call him Silent Bob, and Bob Levy gave him Salad Bob. Well, I got Buffalo Bobby Fran last night, and I'm going to show you a little clip of how that happened when I get through the chat family check-in. There's Scott Fitzpatrick checking in. That's our bro. He loves this part of the show. Chat at Scott. Throw them chats in there. Chatting to me. Look, it's the lovely Sunday Jenna checking in. Thank you, Sunday Jenna. Hello, everyone. Hello, Sunday Jenna. How are you doing? We're doing it. Yes, we are. Oh, if I hit the button right.
We're doing it.
There you go. Well, we got a live one, too. With Scott. There you go. Scott is shouting out the lovely Sunday Jenna and Levy. Gina Levy. He sees them in there. Hey, it's Dirty Dailish. She's saying, hey, y'all. And Sunday Jenna is saying, hey, BF, and hey, Scott. And she is also giving the love to Dirty Dailish. Stream Element says, please hit the like, thumbs up, subscribe to this channel, BF Live, and share. Thank you very much. Dirty Dailish is shouting out Jenna. And she's saying, Thanksgiving week, baby. She sounds like she's excited. Some people are really excited for that short week, but it seems like a week that ends on Wednesday for whatever reason. It seems like just as long going to Friday sometimes, because those 3 days just can't go by fast enough. When you're looking forward to the day off, even though you might not be looking forward to hanging out with some family that you don't really care for, some people are always looking for that day off just to like stop and just chill, maybe watch the parade and whatnot. It's our boy checking in, Tay Boogie. He's saying, yo. What's up, Tay? How you doing, buddy? Hope you are well. I hope you and your family are well for the holidays. There's the Stream Elements bots run. They'll be running throughout the show. What's your favorite pie for Thanksgiving? Well, let's throw that around. Scott, do you have a favorite pie for Thanksgiving?
Cream pie.
Whoa, wait a minute. We're talking about actual pie. Look, he couldn't wait for that one. He got that out so fast. Forget about it. The unsexual pie.
I'm not really a pie person myself. I don't like pie.
Yeah, okay. I'll let Bobby Nick go, and then I'll give my answer. That's Bobby Nick. If a pie, what is your favorite, sir?
A pie, I'd have to say lemon. Lemon pie
Really?
is my favorite. Yeah.
I like me some lemon pie. We have these little snack cakes, and I'll have the lemon variety or the little eclair variety. But yeah, as far as I used to go for the pumpkin pie when I was younger, just because it was sweet and it was like one of the few things that I would probably eat. But as I've gotten older, I've even gotten away from the pumpkin pie. So
I don't like pumpkin pie. I never could stand the taste of it. It just doesn't taste good to me.
Yeah, it's almost like we don't have nothing to make pie out of. We'll just use that thing over there, and it tastes good enough. So yeah,
it's right up there with raisins for me. I don't like raisins.
Pie, yeah. How about carrot cake? Some people like carrot cake.
Yeah.
Right. And the pie don't look right. It looks like something come out of a baby's diaper, doesn't it?
Right. Yeah.
I bought a pie around here the other week, and I bit into it thinking it was one thing, and it had like that filling in it, Scott, and it was totally gross. Can you imagine like you're biting into one thing, and I got like the filling of another pie, and it grossed me out.
Yeah, that's horrible.
There's Scott checking out Tay Boogie. There's the links running. Sunday Jenna says that makes sense with the harvest and the cold. Happy Thanksgiving last month, Bobby Nick. There you go. Happy Thanksgiving past tense, Bobby Nick.
Thank you, Sunday Jenna. I appreciate that.
What's up, guys? Working and listening. All right. Well, we can play. This could be any or many of our friends. Your name don't come through when you're using on Facebook, when you're watching on Facebook, but there's a couple links that you click in there. If you let your credentials pass on through, it'll let it pass through, or you can just type it in, or you can just remain anonymous. But I'm glad you're here just the same. Shout out to you and the other 12 people. This says, hang out for some midweek laughs and watch some funny videos with me and Chris Abels on Wednesdays, 8 p.m. East on Replayables on Shuli Network 2 on YouTube, and Fridays at 9 p.m. East. We had a great time last Friday hanging out there. Let's say, please hit the like. There you go. The bots are running. I won't read every bot. Flick the bean button, you effing cowards. That's right. Scott knows what's up. Please just hit that thumbs up, a.k.a. the like button, and go ahead and do that. And I'd appreciate it. I forgot to stroke the light bean. My mistake. Oh, there you go, Scott. You reminded her. There you go.
Dirty D.
Yeah. All right. Rub your bean, and while you're rubbing your bean, go ahead and hit that like bean. I appreciate it. See, Kathy knows what's up. Got to see Santa come to town because, like I said, we're used to the traditional seasons and how things are kicked off. And like in my house and my family, we didn't even start thinking about Christmas or what we wanted until we finished watching the Macy's parade and you saw Santa Claus, the last float, come through. And then you're like, all right, shit is real now. It is on. So you got to see Santa Claus come into town on the Macy's parade. That's just one of our family traditions.
You know, last night at Wendy's show, damn, I was on there and Boney the Boner popped in, and then all of a sudden a toilet came in, and it was a John. His name was John. And then Santa Claus came in, and then all of a sudden he started turning into Southern Santa Claus, and And then all of a sudden he turned into Black Santa Claus. I was like, what the fuck?
Merry
some
Christmas,
weird shit.
motherfuckers. I hope you have a good one, damn it. Shit.
Yeah, some weird but funny shit was going on.
And I assume that's our friend
Wendy's
Hack
show.
Ride, right?
You got it. You got it.
I assume that's the friend Hack Ride. What a great, fun, funny, talented dude. There's the symbol right there. I know, Bobby Nick, that you were. I'll read this comment real quick. Best in Show was a hilarious movie. Yes, it's a very funny, kind of a kitschy, behind the scenes look at the eccentricities of a dog show. Best in Show is very funny. Good morning, Terry Nee, and happy Thanksgiving. Yeah, so Bobby Nick, I know that you were as excited as me, or maybe more so, to be part of the Hack Ride Pop Lock for Morlock.
Yeah, the Pop Lock for Moloch. Yeah, that was a blast. And I noticed that when the no filter guys pop up, he refers to somebody as a weirdo.
I did notice that. He's like,
I think it's Scott. I
had
to become the weirdo.
Yeah, Scott. I was wondering if you kind of knew about being the weirdo, because he goes, "Oh look, there's Andrew, and there's Bobby Nick, and then there's this one, and there's Mr. A, and there's the weirdo." And I'm like, I think he knows Scott a little bit better than to call him just the weirdo. So you must have hit him with a particular vibe that day, there, Scott. What do you think about that? The weirdo. He got the long hair, and the best he could come up with on the fly was the weirdo. But that was great. If you haven't seen that, we were watching I was kind of hoping that I was right about this. We thought that it was going to be the final episode of Puzzle Box with Hack Ride and Krista, but it is not to be. I knew the guy was way too talented, and I thought maybe, Bobby Nick, when we talked about him doing a 12-show run, maybe he was just going to move on to something else. But I think that it's really caught on. I think people really like it. It seems like he really enjoys doing it, and Hack Ride's going to be back with a new season, right?
Yeah. I think he has a little revamping to do. He's going to reformat a little bit and come back probably stronger than ever, I'm sure.
Well, he's a really talented dude. He works his ass off. If you watched Levyverse last night and watched the Out of the Coffin, and you seen the production that he just put in that one episode, making an animated cartoon with Bob and Gina.
That was amazing, yeah.
Cooking, just hilarious. Just took the audio that was already out there and made a brilliant cartoon. And if you really into podcasting like we are, and you hear the music and you hear the clips and you see the little pictures it takes to put up, this man is obviously working his ass off. So shout out to our boy Hack Ride, talented, fun dude. Really enjoying getting to know him and doing more podcasting with him. He produces the Levyverse. Go ahead and see. You can see him he's coming back. He said December 14th, I think. He's going to try to come back on a little early, maybe 8 o'clock Eastern time instead of 11 o'clock.
Yeah.
So that'll be good. So for those of you on the East Coast who couldn't maybe stay up till, he had me up till 1 o'clock in the morning sometimes, finishing watching his show.
100%.
Trying not to fall asleep.
Yep.
So catch him on Thursdays when he comes back. He said he's taking a little break. I think he's got some work to do. He's going to get Levyverse really up and running. But Hack Ride will be back with a Puzzle Box, and maybe with Electra Fries, maybe not with Krista. What do you think, guys?
Yeah, I don't know. I think that's all still up in the air.
Cool.
Or did he mention that Krista was coming back?
I'm not clear. He was like, he's introducing, like, he seems like he's bringing Electra Fries along.
Yeah,
but she met Bob Levy last night.
Yeah, that's what kind of makes it a little confusing.
Is Electra Fries new on the scene? I don't know of.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to say that I saw her originally pop up on a Wendy chat. Here I go with the Wendy shit again. On a Wendy chat or a Wendy show. Shout out to the 20 people watching. We hope please click the like, share, and subscribe while you're here watching BF Live. It's the midday hangout to get your week started. We're going to start off this short holiday week and make it fun for you. And we hope we'll get to Thursday before you know it, before you even realize it. So let's see. Going back through my chats that I forgot to mark there, Bobby Nick. All right, here. Let's go here since we're kind of still in the middle of the chat family check-in, aren't we? Let's see.
Yeah.
All right. We talked about the harvest with Jenna. There we go. What's up, working and listening? I think I know who that is because she says it later on in here. Let's flick the beam button. Oh, forgot the stroke. There we go. Got that. We're catching up. But this is where we left off with our friend Terry Nee talking about Best in Show. And he says, that's right. Happy Thanksgiving, Buffalo. That's right. That's what I wanted to show you. So we're talking about that in the middle of it. So let me mark that one since you guys didn't really see it. So here's how I acquired my name last night during the, like I said, the very talented Hack Ride and Levy-verse. He was putting up the chats, and they're nice enough to put up mine. And so I said, let's see, let me find it. Where did I put it? Oh, here we go. BF Buffalo. So, Bobby Nick, I got a new name. Here it is.
Yeah, but they do that. They make up names. Come on. Jesus Christ. Buffalo. Bob BF Live.
Buffalo. I got Buffalo.
Bobby Fran, you're Buffalo now. Sorry about that. American Cupcake. This is how it happens. You're Buffalo now, Bobby Fran. Sorry about that. Everyone, Bobby Fran is now Buffalo. Here we go.
I want Bob to eat a fillet of fish with Perry on New Year's. Well, we got to see what's happening because we wanted everyone to go to New Year's. So we're going to say we might have to just do a big show out there or something like that to get everyone. It's a crazy time of the year to be flying and shit. So let's figure it. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. And I'm sure something will happen if that doesn't. Nimrod.
And there you go. So that's how it happened, guys. Just like it happened with you.
Yeah.
Salad Buffalo. Bob, I am now Buffalo, and yeah, Hack Ride loved that. I love when Bob Levy makes Hack Ride like laugh off mic because you never know that his mic is on until Bob says something that's funny and cracks him up, and you hear that little giggle and chuckle, and it kind of adds a little punch to what's going on when you're not expecting it.
Yeah.
So there you go, guys. So now and if you look, I changed my screen name last night, Scott. I know you can do it twice. I know you got caught up in this. I changed it to BF Live Buffalo, but I only got one more chance to make it right in a 2-week period. For those of you that don't mess with it, you only get 2 name changes in a 14-day period. So if you make that second one and something you don't like, you're stuck with it for 2 weeks.
Stuck with it.
Yeah.
You're stuck with it. They make no exceptions to anything. So there he's saying, flick that like button. By mistake. Let's see. Here we go. Let's show.
You're saying that about Hack Ride's laugh. Wendy's got a laugh. I was thinking about Wendy's laugh. Did you know Wendy watched Friday the 13th with us this weekend?
No, and A Nightmare on Elm Street, Part 3, Dream Warrior.
Yeah, I'm at Nightmare, yeah.
Yeah, that was awesome, man. I mean,
she had that laugh.
Oh,
did she do her Freddy Krueger laugh for you? She go, I'm gonna get ya.
She did. Yeah, she didn't do much of that during the show, but after the show, I asked her to do it, and she did.
Yeah,
she did. So yeah.
That used to be great when she would just talk about how she would obsess over Freddy Krueger movies, and she would leave that on their voicemail. I'm gonna get ya. Like Wendy, yeah. So when I saw that you guys were watching horror movies on Rumble, that totally made sense because I know from the past that Wendy is a big horror movie fan.
It's so surreal to me. I was glad Bobby Nick thought that up, man. He made a dream come true of mine that I didn't know I had.
I know.
What having her on and watching a movie?
Yeah, and watching that movie, yeah.
That's cool, man. So not many people can say that. So that's just some of the fun stuff that you guys do on No Filter over there on Rumble, right?
Yeah.
Talk to us while she's pooping.
Oh shit!
She did, yeah. And I think we heard a plop.
Yeah,
I think we did hear a plop. Yeah, a splash. Yeah. So yeah.
So that is a kind of a heady experience. Rumble is still kind of the Wild West. So if you ever want to have some fun and you see No Filter heading over to Rumble, go ahead and check that out because they're probably doing something you shouldn't be doing over there. It puts the lotion on its skin. There it does. There's Sunday Jenna. Oh, hey guys, it's our boy Andy from Ontario checking in. Double D discount line, man. How you doing, buddy? Happy Monday to you. I know that you're up there in the Great White North too, but I'll still wish you happy Thanksgiving, even though you had that weird one a month ago. There you go. Happy American Thanksgiving.
No, yours is weird.
Sure. Let's not start this. AFO. Andy from Ontario, what's going on, bro? You love Thanksgiving, Dirty Dallas, but what do you love about it the most? Do you like the eating? Do you like the resting? Do you like the family that you only see once a year or so? Like what? Let's see.
Thanksgiving usually marks the beginning of depression season for me.
Well, and that's very brave of you to talk about because not a lot of people will admit that, that they don't want to be around their family. It's like we drag ourselves through these processes. But yeah, I think when we talk about it, we see that a lot of us have that in common to where, okay, I got to get up the gumption to be around family and maybe do some things that I don't normally do once a year.
I start dreading Christmas because no matter how much money I have, I feel like I've let people down. just down on Christmas. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's not supposed to be about what you you know.
Sound like Shayna there, but
the attention. Shayna. Dirty
No,
Daily says go ahead.
I feel you there, Scott. You know, it's so weird now with the holidays that it's like, you know, as you get older, you lose people and everything. People used to be around, and then you start thinking about them, and then it just totally gets you down, you know. And I feel that comment about you know, not being able to you know, get the gifts for the people that you want to get.
I feel like
you know,
I'm coming up
and-
short no matter what I have to give.
Yeah, yeah. So I honestly, after me and my ex broke up, I just stopped getting gifts for people because I don't need anything,
Right.
and I just I can't do it anymore. You know, I don't. Sometimes I don't even want to think about it. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, it does change, and you know, like I said, I've come from a bigger family, and we used to get together a lot more. It's not happening as much. So I definitely have an appreciation for how family dynamics change as you get older, and I definitely have an appreciation for having you guys and having this community here, because in some ways it does kind of take the place, and it does give you kind of a place to go and people to hang out with and people that you're normal with and talk to on here on the chat family. So hopefully, if you're not getting along with your family, if you don't have a lot of family, come hang with us, because you always got chat family with us.
That's right.
There you go. What's it? It's your boy Bybee.
Yeah, buddy.
Yep. He's been showing up
guys,
more and
how's
more,
it
hasn't he?
What's that, buddy?
I see.
He's been showing up more and more.
Yeah, he has. I know that you he was one of the people that you kind of harassed early on and like, hey man, you better get in here. I'll be outside your house. You better like, share, and subscribe this. Because Scott was and still is a podcast beast, and he was out there literally like harassing family members and every friend he could in the beginning, like, hey man, get your phone, like, share, and subscribe, all this stuff. That's the reason why I got a lot of people in my group and on my pages, because of Scott. He's out there recruiting, so that's one of his early recruits and good friend Bybee. What's up?
Yeah, and he actually Bybee actually bought a no filter T-shirt.
I think I saw a picture of that going around.
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
So yeah, we appreciate that.
So that's cool. Yep, they got their T-shirts. They got their memberships going on over there. No filter with Andrew and friends. There's the links right there. Replayables is always a fun time. Thank you, Sunday Jenna, for always supporting us and always being around. There's the links running. Here she is, Scott. It's Psychosocial. And she'll be checking in. I'll be seeing her in the chat later, because Perry is going to be live on Media Share Monday, 7 p.m. tonight, so East.
Oh, there you go.
So I'll be seeing her in the chat, shouting out Psychosocial, giving bones up to all my friends over there in that community. She says that's great. I wish I knew it was great, but there you go. Let's see. I stopped watching Hack Ride because of all the what in the chat? I can't say it. Is it love or snakes in the chat? Wait a minute. Wow, that's interesting considering some of the shows I know that you're a part of, Dalish, that snakes in any particular chat would be a deterrent to you. You know?
Yeah, I don't know.
they can be in pretty much every chat, girl. I can't say that I noticed any worse in his, but I understand.
Either.
Let's see. I like the eggplant cat that Hack Ride made. That Hack Ride made. Yeah, he's a big cat guy. Not ashamed to say it. Andy from Ontario's laughing. That's good. My sister says you have a better chance of seeing Jesus Christ walk across water than to see Bobby Fran eat pumpkin pie. There you go. That's my sister, so she would know. She makes all the food. She has to make all the special food for me because I don't eat all the weird stuff. Shout out to the 23 people here live. Whether you are watching live or you're watching after the fact, I'm glad that you're watching BF Live. And please hit the like, share, and subscribe and help me get up to 500 subs. I'd appreciate that. Hey, it's our friend Just Mike checking in saying, hey, everyone, happy Thanksgiving to America this Thursday. Yeah, there you go. That's one of your friends up the Great White North. But see,
yeah, we got a lot of Canadians in the house today. I like it.
Lots of Canadians and people, whether you're joining us from Canada or all over the world. It's great to see people from all over enjoying BF Live. Thank you. Thanks, pal. Happy Thanksgiving, all. There you go. You got it, buddy. That's funny. Today, I seen you guys had to take the John finger and put it on the clams that spit, and that was a great idea that Bob had, and you guys took care of it on the fly. Did you see that, Scott? Any of the BS show this morning?
No, I didn't get. I think it's. I usually watch it after the show.
I hear you. I hear you. It's not. Yeah. Well, they had a couple days ago. They were talking about those weird clams that look like kind of penis clams, and then they squirt and everything. And today, Bob said, "Why don't you take John's crooked finger and make all of those penis clams John's finger?" And so they did it like on the fly, like that. So it's funny shit.
That's
so
great.
penis clams
I
to
like
John's crooked finger. Yep.
I like it. Yeah.
Bobby Nick knows yours is weird. Wait a minute.
That's right. Dominic said no.
Don't you Canadians get in piling here start with me telling us that we're weird, damn it. We got Andy. We got Just
Canadian
Mike. We got
power.
Dominic Sin. Canadian power.
Canadian power.
Get out of here with your Canadian voodoo. What's up? That December seasonal depression. Yes, I'm glad that people talk about this now. It's very funny. Well, at least that I know of, because I always noticed, Scott and Bobby, that these things, my attitude would change as the season changed. It took me many years to kind of pick up on the pattern, but it really is a thing for me. And I find that the more I've gotten older and talked about it, I find that a lot of us have that in common.
100%. Yeah. I mean, you couldn't talk about it back in the day,
Yeah,
it just wasn't a thing that you talked about. Yeah, exactly.
Snap out of it.
Yeah.
And that's kind of I think that's why I enjoy it, Bobby Nick, because we're all talking about it, we're all relating, and when you find out that you're not the only like the weird one that kind of has a weird certain feeling around this time of the year. There you go. It's the lovely KD
you're not
checking
alone.
in. Hi, Bobby Nick.
I said, yeah, you're not. You find out you're not alone, and that's kind of a more comforting feeling, and
as crazy as you.
Right then and there, that can help. Right then and there, just knowing that there's other people going through the same shit.
You're right, and I'm kind of making light of it, singing over it, but you're right, Bobby Nick. I really enjoy that because I did for a long time feel like, why do I feel this way? And I should be happier. It's the holidays. I'm around my family, and you have all these things that you can add up to happiness. But for whatever reason, I think I must be part bear, because it seems like my body don't want any parts of winter. I just want like hibernate and like forget it. Like, wake me up in the spring, and I ain't got to deal with none of the emotions or the cold weather or none of that shit. I think I'm ignoring what my body's telling me. Let's see.
Right.
So true, Scott. What's up, Scott? What'd you have on there?
I was saying I put myself through a mental hell all the way up till Christmas, and then the day after Christmas, and then I can just feel the weight lift off of me. Like I'm not. I don't know how to describe it, man. I just feel the stress. And I know I'm doing what I'm doing, but I just do it every year.
It's funny, right? Because everybody knows what's coming. You know the places you're going to go. You know the people you're going to be around, and that's part of it. But you would figure if you knew it that maybe you could help you manage it. But that's not always the case. But everybody has their own method. Some people use alcohol. Some people eat. Some people fight. Whatever you do. Let's see. Maybe we can do a downer day. Wait a minute. Right. We talk about everything that brings us down. I think it's just to be candid. It's good to be candid in the moment and just realize that I think we used to have this obligation like, hey, everybody, it's Thanksgiving, so we got to act like we're happy and we like a bunch of people we don't really like, and I think as you get older, you get tired of playing that game, the charade, if you will. Let's see. Have Christmas January 25th. It's cheaper. That's right. Then you have the whole money element involved. Tétwa is checking in. Look at this. Tétwa. There's the bots running. Dirty Daily says, my family likes when I make yummy treats for Christmas. Thankfully, trying to find the perfect gift is anxiety-inducing. Well, gift cards always help with that. I loved when gift cards came along because that took like a lot of the thought out of it. You can just like, give you $20 and a gift card.
Yeah.
You're done with it. Checking in. That's cool. All right, let's see. It's E-Dub. This is Chris Abel's little stepson. Hey everyone, I didn't know BF Live was on at 12. Come on.
Every Monday, Dub.
I see our guest is joining us backstage. I'll give you a second to settle in, brother, and get your sound right, and then we'll check in with you. I guess Pat Oates will be joining us very soon. The Stream Elements bot is running. There you go. I only hang out in the coolest of stream chats. Well, that's why you're here. That's why we're doing it. Let's see. What's up, E-Dub? How you doing, buddy? Look, he says Canadian power.
That's right.
You're weird. Look at this. See, I told you, don't come in here with your Canadian block of people. You're Canadian weirdos. Let's see.
We're banding together. We're gonna take over the world.
Terry Nee has good advice. Walk towards the sun every morning. It helps with SAD, seasonal affected disorder. That's I didn't know I didn't have that until I got much older there, bro. But yes, sun and vitamin D is a big help. Whatever way you get your vitamin D. What's up? Hey, it's Andy from Ontario saying, oh, hey, Sunday. Jenna, please hit that like. KB says depression is a real bitch, and trying to say it is too. Let's see.
Tourette's is also a real bitch.
Yeah, apparently
I've
is.
heard. Yeah.
I got that out too. All right, well, we'll get through these. All right, and in just perfect time to bring our guest in, we're going to wrap up because for now we'll check in with you later. But that was the end of the Chat Family Check-in.
Talk amongst yourselves. Talk amongst yourselves. Talk amongst yourselves.
All right, we like to do that. That's how we check in with the Chat Family every week. Hopefully I'll put the star in the right spot, and we will get back to the right spot later. But right now I want to take this time to introduce our guest. This guy is a guy that we've hung out with on another podcast, and I enjoy keeping up with him on social media. He's a really busy guy. He's up to a lot of interesting, cool stuff. He does podcasting. He does some stuff at Compound Video. We're going to talk about all with him right now. Let's bring him in. He is our friend Pat Oates. Come on, Pat Oates. Hey, buddy.
Nothing better than talk about depression than bringing me on. Thanks, guys.
There you go, dude.
Yeah, no problem, man. No problem.
Well, welcome, man. And it's funny, I did want to touch on that with you because that is one of the things I really appreciate about you, Pat, is that you are brutally honest about how you feel on any given day of the week. You don't put up no airs or anything. If you're not feeling happy, you let the world know. And that kind of makes it okay for me to feel that way, bro. So welcome, man. Welcome to the Depression Show.
Thanks. I think it's a great thing to do. You tell people right away either to fuck with you or not fuck with you that day. So that's basically what I'm doing in all my posts.
Right.
Yeah, it kind of helps. So how you been otherwise, man?
Good, man. Feeling good. Walking towards the sun, but I'm looking for a cliff to fall off.
Isn't that a song? Isn't that a Smash Mouth song? Might as well be walking towards the sun.
When we know what happened to him, so.
Oh shit, that didn't end well. That didn't end well. Cool, man.
But no, man, just been on the radio or podcasting or comedy, doing anything I can to not sit alone with my own thoughts, having a good time. So.
Yeah, I see that. You are a real busy dude. I see that you're up there on PLR on a lot of the weekends, WPLR, right?
Yep. Yeah, it's out of New Haven. It goes about to New York, but it covers most of Connecticut. But I'm on there on weekends, and I sit in with the morning show sometimes. So I wanted to learn. I was a guest on one time, and I was like, ooh, radio seems fun. And I know it's dying, but still, I was like, fuck it, I want to learn it. So I just asked them, could I be on radio? And they're like, yeah, why not? And I just started doing that.
I love that because for me, my love of podcasting and doing this started from like early radio. That's the first thing we were exposed to. My mother would always just give us a radio, so radio was a big thing in my life. So I grew up with that kind of radio influence, and I try to bring those elements here. So I was excited for you when I see that you were kind of combining the two things, and you kind of had this love of radio too. And I was just another thing I kind of related to you over.
Well, if you listen the same way, probably all you guys did. If you listen when you were younger and you would hear like a local comedian come on the radio, you kind of knew you didn't know who comedians were yet because you're younger. And I'm like, oh, this is a big deal. And there's a guy, and then I started doing comedy. I'm like, oh, this guy stinks. This guy now opens for me, and he's been doing it 30 years. So maybe I can also steal his radio jobs. That's basically what I was doing.
That's cool. And talking about young comedians, you said you were younger. Like, do you remember you're like your first what is the first person you saw or like comedic guy and you said, hey, I kind of feel that. That's kind of my lane. Like, do you recall anybody in particular?
I loved comedy. I did not feel that way ever. I actually got tricked into comedy.
Really?
A buddy of mine, a lot of my friends told me I should do it, but I thought I was just a loud asshole. People say that to the loud asshole friend. But like, they were, a buddy of mine one day said, hey, let's go to this bar. They're doing like comedy contest. We can get wings and stuff. I didn't know he signed me up. So 3 other guys were in the contest. It was literally the fry cook of the bar, a guy who just lost his job and needed the prize money to pay a bill, and then a magician. And then they all sucked. The people that were judging it were the owner of the bar, the owner of the bar's dad, and a woman they were both trying to fuck. And they were sitting like American Idol style behind us in this shitty town. So they yelled my name at last, and I'm like, what the fuck? My friend goes, you could do this. So I went up, I shit on the guy and his dad and the slut, and then I shit on the town, and I won $100. So I was like, all right. Cool. My buddy goes, you're better than 3 people. It's a start. This is how old I am. I went on MySpace when I got home. I searched comedians in my area, and I asked them, how do you do comedy? They told me where open mics were, and I've been doing it ever since.
Yeah, I know, and you do. Do you have a question, Bobby Nate?
No.
Okay, I thought I heard somebody trying to talk. Yeah, so I
Sorry.
do see you out there. I can tell your love of comedy because you're out there. You grind the open mic nights. I can tell you're still like really big into those, right?
Well, it's a stupid analogy, but it's like in Rocky 3 when Apollo brings Rocky back to the gym to see the hungry eye of the tiger fucking people, which is like the scary black guys in the gym.
Yeah.
I want to be around the people that are still hungry for it because it makes me want to write more and do. So if you're around people that give a shit, then you give a shit. But if you're just like not going around it, and you get stale and you don't write shit. I like to try to put out new material as much as I can. I try to record an album every year if I can. So
That's really cool. Well, I'm glad you're here today. I hope you stick around a little bit. We do a couple little things. I like to check on the National Day Calendar, so maybe you'll have some observations about this. Let's do a little National Day thing. I like to call it National Day. Hey, and let's see what's going on the National Day Calendar with our friend Pat Oates. Let's do it. Come on.
3, 2, 1.
All right, we're going to do the National Day Hey. And I always like to say, if you're not careful, you may learn something for you're done when you watch here on BF Live. So today is November 20th, Pat, and we're heading into the lovely Thanksgiving holiday week, the short week. You going to be doing any DJing this weekend by any chance?
Yeah, Black Friday. I fill in for the guys who have real jobs. So like whenever they don't want to work, like Thanksgiving weekend, stuff like that, I'm in. So I'm on Black Friday, then I'm on the Sunday after.
Yeah, that's great. And I have the links. I'll share them later. But I've actually listened to you before. You talked about how far the signal goes. Well, actually, now with the internet and everything, I can even listen to you. I'm down here in Maryland, buddy. So there's been a couple weekends where I have listened to you. They're a good classic rock station. And I like you have all the little themes, and you'll do your little kind of in between minuets, if you will, in between the songs. And I really enjoy listening to you.
They've worked with me on that because I've tried to make everything funny, and people are like, "We're just trying to listen to Thin Lizzy. Can you shut the fuck up?" And I'm like, "Yeah, okay." So they don't care that I hate The Boys Are Back in Town every time it plays. But so I do add my humor, but I also realize that I am there just to get from one song. I did ask to learn it both, so it's a combination. I can be funny for it, but I'm only talking for a minute at a time. So, but it's a way to learn that part. But yeah, I could ruin someone's day real quick.
Yeah, so while we're on that real quick, is it very regimented? Like, we understand the stations nowadays are quite regularly pre-programmed, so I guess you got to, like, really pick your spots to try to be funny in there, right?
It's programmed to the point where, like, right now, when I'm going to be on Friday, that's already in the system. Like, they program, like, a week in advance. The music's already in there, because they have so many. The place I work for has 5 stations, and there's 3 program directors, so they've got to program everything and change the formats from the morning show to all the different ones, and then change it for the weekend, so they set you up with 4 breaks an hour. You know how much time you can do in between each one. There's one that has to be like an ad or a local commercial thing that you're supposed to read, and the other 3 are your things to mess with. It's supposed to be music-centric, but the second one's the one I'm allowed to just do my own thing, as long as it kind of makes sense in what's going on in the world. I can shit on, like, Thanksgiving because it's Thanksgiving, but I can't be making fun of Easter for no goddamn reason. So, like, yeah, you're allowed to go here and there. They know my humor, so they allow me to be funny, and they tell other people, don't try to be Pat, just do your music shit, so.
Well, that's cool. And I do have a couple of those little kind of TikTok snippets little shorts that you do kind of in between songs, and we'll get around to playing them once we check our National Day calendar. So let's see. So today is November 20th. We have, we always say that it's always a holiday for someone, Pat. I'm always fascinated with this calendar, like who came up with this calendar and who where all these days derive from and for what reason. So we like to just look at the calendar every Monday when we do the show and see what kind of absurd or kind of weird holidays are happening today.
Nice.
So let's see. Yeah, World Children's Day. And these two are kind of a common, and National Child's Day. So they're kind of, you should know, not to mess with children or whatever, and be good to children. We'll kind of just go right past those.
Yeah.
But, let's see. This kind of intrigued me. National Peanut Butter Fudge Day. Did you know it was National Peanut Butter Fudge Day?
I know some people that every day is National Peanut Butter Fudge Day, but
oh, there you go. Let's see. So that was one, but this other one caught my interest right here. This where we go. You can't get past a dog with a purple wig. National Absurdity Day, and I'm figuring, what's better than for an absurd podcast than to talk about National Absurdity Day, November 20th, and it says, on November 20th, National Absurdity Day reigns supreme. Oddness and weirdness take over. We're not sure why, but it does. And it says, throughout history, bizarre occurrences mark the calendar. It seems absurd today to send your child across country, dig this, guys, across country by airplane, but people do it. It says there's a process, attendants, and an adult on the other side waiting to retrieve the precious package. And check this out. It says when the Postal Service first launched in 1913, children falling within the shipping weights were sent cross-country by parcel service. Male babies were shipped off to grandma's house, some as low as 15 cents, plus insurance, of course. What do you think about that shit?
Oh, my crap.
Now, Pat, were you aware of this, brother?
No, but imagine your parents bring you to the post office and leave. Like, that's insane.
Yeah, what they do, like put a stamp on your head or something? Like, how do they do that?
And if you're fat, do you get more stamps? Because that's if you have to get like several stamps.
You get all the luggage stamps, like your big cargo case or something from the cartoons back in the day. You've been shipped all over the world.
But when they get it, you're like, it came damaged. Like, no, that's the way the kid was. We sent it away.
Yeah, right. Damaged in transport.
What the fuck?
Can you imagine if this was still like where people just had enough with their kid and they're going, I'm just going to put you on a plane and I'm going to send you somewhere. But it just seemed like, I just thought that was really funny.
Well, you can kind of do it now with Uber. You could just, as long as you tell them, oh, it's a kid, you can send that kid anywhere in someone else's car.
And you're giving people ideas right here. So I thought for National Absurdity Day, that was certainly an absurd observance right there. And it was certainly something I didn't know about, but I think a lot of people might be looking into that real soon, especially after Thanksgiving. So
what's up with the dog wearing a wig, though? That's just absurd.
I guess it's just absurd. Yeah, it doesn't really get into the absurdity of why that dog has a particular wig. I got stuck on the notion of shipping your babies for as low as 13 cents plus insurance. You don't want to forget the insurance, Pat. It's very important.
No,
you know.
But you can combine the 2 days because dogs that dress like ladies would like the peanut butter because that can help you do shit to them.
Oh shit! Oh, wait a minute. Dogs and peanut butter. I'm seeing a connection here. Okay, yeah. Let's see there. So there aren't many days, but some days we'll have 6 or 7 of these. Some days we'll have 1 or 2. But I just thought that was an interesting little thing for our National Day Hey Hey. So that's a little brief check-in this week for our National Day Hey Hey, and we'll kind of.
Would you mail your kid if you could? Does anyone here have kids?
Mine are older now, but yes.
Yeah, mine are grown too, so you can think about it better. They got like mine are older, but like if it was cheaper and they had to go somewhere, and you knew we're told it's safe, would you convince your kid that going to the post office and being shipped was cool, like fun?
Hell yeah, I do everything in my power. Like, look, you're going to travel, you're going to see the world, go see grandma, don't bother me for a week or so. I'd give it a go.
Or you know, you used to have the kid write the letter and bring it to Santa. Yeah. You're like, you're going to bring the letter with you.
You're going to hand deliver this to Santa Claus himself on the North Pole.
Ship you right to the North Pole.
How you feel about that, Billy? That's funny.
It's even weirder if you had an adopted kid and they think you're sending them back.
Oh yeah, you know there's no returns on this package, right, Dad? They told you no returns, right?
But Papa, I've been good. I clean room. It's like no, Chudley, you're going back.
All right, let me check in on some of these comments here. I'll put the old goggles on and see what people's been saying.
There you go.
Let's see. Come on. Here we go. Boom. There's my bots running, of course. Well, you know enough about the bots. Somebody saying yo little brother, so I'm assuming that's my bigger brother, one of my bigger brothers. So what's up? One of my bigger bros. How you doing? Let's see. Kathy Linder, that's my sister. She says you can make fudge easy to make and people really enjoy it, or small loaves of banana bread. Hey, that's a more you know kind of thing.
Banana bread is the shit.
You like that? My sister, She makes all that stuff. My sister, she's that type of person that makes way more food than a family could possibly eat, and I love her for it.
Like banana bread, all that kind of bread is something you don't realize you like till someone just has it chilling. And then you're like, oh shit, banana bread. You know, then you start eating a ton of it. You realize it's just rotten bananas. You're kind of a loser, but like, it's good.
This is always a question. If Pat had a gay monkey on his back, would he leave it there or beat it off?
I like what they went with this. You know what? For the sake of the joke, I would beat it off vigorously.
There you go. That's Scott's joke. We know Scott has caught up with you on your show.
Yes, Scott's great.
Pat does a show, POS show with Bobby Tambura. He's a good guy too, and I know that I've checked in with you every now and then, and Scott has checked in, and he always liked to ask the wild and kind of out there, kind of out of the way questions. I know you like those.
Those are the best because, like, especially if you have a program planned and you're doing this and that, whatever. But then you're like, it's feeling a little stale, and then Scott writes something like this. You're like, you know what? Let's have fun with this and roll.
I could see how much you lit up when you saw the kind of goofy questions that Scott was presenting. You were like, this guy has to ask questions for a living. So I can see you were excited about it.
I mean, my question back to him would be, how do you know if a monkey's gay?
Ooh. Look at that. He put it back on. The joke got put back on you. See, this is what happens when you come to the pros, Scott. Oh, shit.
I do a bit now on stage, but it was from a real story in Boston where two manatees were having sex in an aquarium and one fucked the other one to death, but they found out they were brothers. Yeah.
What? That took a turn.
Yeah. And when I've said on stage once, a guy yelled out, "That's gay." And I'm like, "Well, that's incest." And he's like, "Same thing." I'm like, it's not the same thing.
There's levels here. We need a flow chart for this one.
There's no incest day parade, so you know.
No incest day parade. Hey, look at our friend from the Howard Stern Show, the Wendy Pack. She says, "Hey, all, I just woke up and gave a minute or two." Well, what's up, Wendy Pack?
Good morning, Wendy. Wherever you are.
I assume that you are familiar with Wendy, the former, they call her formerly Wendy the retard from the Howard Stern days. Yeah.
I have also been known as formerly retarded.
Some people say I'm currently retarded. Yeah, so we can all feel that.
Me too, yeah.
But we did a little preview. We did a little package on her last week, and she's been on with these guys, No Filter. Scott and Bobby, Nick, and Andrew, the guy who's has I can't remember what CP, cerebral palsy.
Yeah.
You were nice enough to do our show, about a year or two ago. TGB, the Ghetto Basement. And that's where we first met you. Well, these guys are still out there doing their thing. These guys are on almost every day of the week that I'm not. They do No Filter with Andrew and friends, Pat. They're out there.
It's got to be easier to get some words in with only 4 of you, right? And not 38 like the last time I was on the show.
Well, I mean, that show kind of.
It was fun. Listen, I know people would shit on that. For guys who weren't sure how to do it yet, it was very smart to let other ones sit back, know when to jump in, know Bobby could run the show because he likes to talk like a motherfucker like I do, and other people could just jump in once in a while. So there's nothing wrong with that. And the ones who figured it out stayed, and the ones who didn't do it on their side, whatever. So nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, it was just we were a fun group of people, and like you said, sometimes it may be too many of us. I know that our friend Bob Levy has a big rule about 3. He don't really know more than 3 because then it does get kind of busy, and you all start talking over each other, and then it becomes a mishmash after a while.
Right, but Bob also is used to dealing with 2 other people that also want to get their jokes. With me and a bunch of people, same thing. We want to talk a lot. But you guys had people that weren't going to say much, so it was okay. And also, if people are complaining how many people are on it, it means they're watching. So you're doing something right.
Nah, it was good. We were a young show, and we're still kind of younger compared to a lot of you guys as far as amount of time we've been doing podcasting and all. And you were gracious enough to come on our show and kind of put up with the madness, and we had a good time with you. And I know Scott has remembered it, and he talked about it. So when I told him that you were going to be on today, he was equally excited. So we're happy that you're here, man.
Nice. Thanks, Gay Monkey.
Gay Monkey. Thanks, Gay Monkey. Let's see. Nope. There we go. I had a bit for that. Where? Can't find my sounds when I need them. Oh, hell. The moment passed.
Sometimes it's knowing when not to talk, I found.
Yeah.
Yeah, Scott, you made a good point. I don't know if Pat caught that over my soundbite, but Scott, that's a good point. Sometimes it's knowing when not to talk, when to let the show breathe.
100%. Like that's why I kind of wanted to do radio because I was a guest on morning shows, and they have their own show, and you're supposed to just be the sniper. Yeah. And that helped. I know radio is dying, but podcasts aren't. And I became a better guest on podcasts by being able to be on those shows and read that. So now when I go on here, I can see, I'm not trying to just get my shit in. I'm listening to how you guys do your thing, seeing who's talking, who's not, and jump in. Because the guy who's quiet, like WATP, producer Chris is awesome. I mean, one of the funniest fucking guys, and he talks like 4 times a show. But when he does, it's hilarious and it hits, and he can sit back the whole time and just nail you with something.
And that's great. It's great when you have, like you said, a sniper that knows kind of just the value of just sitting there and just waiting for that moment and to get your shot in. It's where a lot of people, when you try to compete and everybody's trying to be the first one to get the joke in, that makes for a crowded room, and it doesn't really always go too well. So
right.
Let's see. What else we got? We got AI. Oh, our boy AI Jake. Let's see. Have you had any encounters with our boy Jake Huston yet? You familiar with him?
I've seen his work on many different shows that I watch, but I've never met him myself. I one time got tired watching him walk, but it was.
Well, then we know who you're talking about. Well, if you're around here, but at least hanging around with us long enough, Jake normally in the mix, and I'd say Scott really enjoyed that. Let's see. What did he say? Can you post my Binks links in the chat and on screen, please? No, Jake. See, that's Jake's problem. He's always coming in trying to insert himself and whore other people's chats and promote himself. So, in due time.
Yeah, I mean, I get it though. People want to get their shit out, but yes, I hate when you go. Cause I love watching chats. Like I watch Brennan, but I'm basically reading all the chats on the side of my TV more than I'm even watching the show sometimes to watch all the fighting and the weird flirting that people are doing back and forth. So I do like that. But when it's like Ray DeVito just saying "Watch Rock Bottom," like I don't want a commercial, man. I like you, but get out of here.
Yeah, that's why we always talk about chat family. I really do enjoy the chat, and it's funny, Pat, because I hear some podcasters go, "I prepare a show. I don't really show up to talk to the chat, almost like the chat is secondary." And I'm like, bro, they're your crowd, they're your people, and they're saying a lot of funny shit in there a lot of times.
Yeah.
Right. But as you have pointed out already, like you said, okay, we'll do this segment, then we'll turn up. We'll not read some chat for a little bit. Long as you don't become the chat show.
Yes.
That doesn't become bad, but when they realize that you're going to let them run the asylum, they're going to run it.
Yeah, and I think it's good because that can be true if you don't have the proper control. But I like the fact that they'll chip in with maybe a factoid or something that I did or didn't know about my guest right there, and kind of take the show in a different direction. So whatever floats your boat.
I didn't know I was such a loser. Thanks for telling me.
Let's see. There's our friend Stormy. You might remember Stormy. She was on TGB
Hi,
with
Stormy.
us. She's
Yeah,
a
I see
little
her on
under the
Facebook
weather
stuff.
today.
Yeah.
But she's always checking in on the chat. She might join us later on. Look at this. Is Andy from Ontario. He's one of the producers on the Chuli Network. He says, Thin Lizzy Live is Life Live is greatest album of all time.
I know I'm in the minority about Thin Lizzy. I don't like Thin Lizzy, but I know people love them.
Let me
I'm
show.
with you, Pat. I'm same.
Oh wow! Look at this. We got an agreement on here. Check this out.
I'm
Let's
sorry,
see.
but I'm with you guys too. Yeah, I don't know. I don't really care for Thin Lizzy either. I think the greatest live album of all time was AC/DC's "If You Want Blood." To be honest,
That is a tremendous live album. I mean, but anything AC/DC live is as good as they are. That energy of just a man screaming while wearing children's clothes is the greatest thing ever.
I had a younger family member ask me about that last week, and they were like, "What made Angus Young wear that little schoolboy uniform?" I'm like, "I don't know. He just wore it one day." And then it's funny because you didn't realize how old and odd and out of the place he looked in it until he got much older and gray hair, and it was just disconcerting after a while. He just shouldn't have been in it anymore.
Well, if they existed now, that he would have been canceled.
Yeah.
Back then, I'm a boy. Like what? And now it's guys just no one cares because there was no internet to every day see a man be a boy.
But I mean, you got to remember he was only 18 when AC/DC started. So and he was a smaller guy, so he could pass for a teenage boy. Really,
Who was looking for him to pass as a teenage boy?
I don't know. It was some kind of gimmick that his it was some kind of gimmick that his sister came up with.
Yeah, but then he's singing about his biggest balls of them all. It is weird. Like,
Wow.
and you shook me all night long. If you think about a young boy singing that, you don't want it.
That's true.
So here, I said I had a couple of your clips and shorts. Like I said, Pat's always doing his. He's doing open mics. He's doing comedy. He's on Compound, and he does PLR sometimes on the weekends. And sometimes we'll put out little shorts. And here's one of them I was going to play. And this is about the topic that we were just talking about. I think about Thin Lizzy, if I have the right one. Check this out.
You shouldn't judge anyone on thoughts they have or things they enjoy, but I don't care that the boys are back in town. I have never once cared about the boys coming back to town. I don't care about being at Dino's. I don't care about, you gotta forget that lady if she's not gonna be the lady that's for you.
It was a much longer rant, but the station isn't happy when I shit on stuff, so I just cut it short for TikTok. But the longer one, I actually started by saying my thoughts expressed by me are not the ones of this station. And then I started getting messages like, "What's he about to talk about?" They thought I was like, "You're Palestine." I was doing Thin Lizzy, so who gives a fuck? But
That's what I like in the fact that you're on there. You're essentially, and you're supposed to be endorsing it or promoting it, but you can't help but express yourself like, "Hey, I give no fucks about boys are back in town or Thin Lizzy or any of that stuff." So I like how that kind of flies in the face of the convention of being on a radio station. So you say they do kind of bust your chops about that?
Oh, I mean, they want you to not. Like, they don't want the listener to be upset, but at the same time, the listeners are just like people that listen to podcasts. Like, there's ones that like things and hate. I think it helps if someone who's playing the stuff is honest and doesn't say every song is great, everything is the best. The one time I got in, not trouble but talked to was when I was new, and I did a break where I said at PLR we play the best music in the world and Kiss. And and then they told me I shouldn't do that because I could fear the Kiss Army, and I couldn't stop laughing at that. They're like, "No, it's serious. Like, you got to."
You don't. Two things you don't want. You don't want Swifties after you, or the Kiss Army. Apparently,
Well, at least the Swifties are attractive.
That's true. That's true. So I guess you can't help but keep up with that in pop culture and everything. This whole Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift thing. Do you give any shits about that, or what is your take on that from that? Looking in that.
Well, I mean, as a person who likes to whore themselves out like we all do here, where it wouldn't be on this thing, I get pushing that to bring the two worlds together. It sells mad jerseys for him. She and they got women watching football now that weren't watching it and going to games and doing all that stuff. Is he helping her? Not really, because she's the biggest fucking thing. She's 8 times what Elvis ever was. Like, she's the biggest thing in the world. Like, she's like, if you put her picture in Jesus' picture, more people would recognize her than Jesus right now in this world. So I get them sharing it and doing it. And I'm not gonna lie. Call me what you want. Her music's good. If you're in a bad mood and somebody broke your heart, you listen to her, like, yeah, bitch, I agree. Men are terrible. So it's like, but I don't care that two people that are super successful are dating. They should. If she dates some loser like us, the songs are gonna suck. When he breaks her heart, it's gonna be a great album.
It's gonna be a big double album.
Yeah, but so good.
They get in this silliness, like they showed where he was at standing off stage of one of her concerts, and she ran over to him and kissed him, and the crowd saw it and they went wild. And it's like, yeah, like you said, you can be happy for him, but you shouldn't be dedicating like moments of your life to like worrying about their relationship and if it's going well or not.
Where people get obsessed with the weirdest shit. You know what I mean? Her fans are she sold out all those monster football stadiums over and over. They care about everything in her life more. They live through her. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I saw a montage. They showed all the boyfriends that she's had. She's done that run to. As a guy, if I was dating her, I'd be like, oh man, you just do this with everybody? That part would fucking hurt.
Yeah. This is one of the checklist moments before you finally get a song written about you. It's like, oh shit, I got the hug across the stage. I mean, probably only a couple more steps for the songs written about you.
Right. If you're dating a girl, then you see like a old text she sent to an old boyfriend, and she called him the same name, like nickname she calls you. You're like, oh, it's just a name for everybody. Fuck, it's that kind of shit. But whatever. You're still banging Taylor Swift. Who cares?
But I do think there is something to be said for what you say about boosting both of their Q ratings, if you will, because she had a live concert that she was trying to promote in theaters right when their relationship started to blossom. And if you notice him, he's doing all of these vaccination commercials and everything. All his promotions are up too. So I do think there does seem to be like some kind of conspiracy almost sometimes with these. It's almost too perfect how these two things came together at once and all this promotion is going on around them.
Yeah, but at the same time, it's probably just the PR people bothering them so much to go public with it that they're like, fine. Because if they are really a couple, it had to be like, wow, like, hey, can we make sure this works before you shove? Because if we're not really we're just going to hook up a couple times. We don't really need this fucking out there like this. But I guess they both were on board for it. And if it is fabricated, so what? There's worse things than to go, oh, look back at my time where I used to bang Taylor Swift. Like,
yeah, what a dork. Yeah, what a dumb move that was. That's funny.
You want to know my thoughts on Taylor Swift and her relationships?
Yes.
Who gives a shit? Who gives a fuck?
Oh, there you go.
Every hot 23-year-old.
Who gives a shit? Who gives a fuck?
And I like
But my whole thing is the obsession, how some people think it's like tied to their personal lives, and if their relationship does or doesn't go right, that's going to bode some kind of particular way for them, like, or it adds up to their happiness. It's like, as long as Taylor's happy, I can be happy too. It's like, I don't care that deeply, but it's fun fodder.
It's the same way a dude is fired up every time Joe Rogan has a new opinion. You know what I mean? Like,
oh my God.
That's how and I listen to Joe Rogan when there's comics on I like, so I'm not saying I'm not someone who listens, but there are people that live, men and women, there are people that live through certain people and how they are all the time. I get, if you're going to be a sad person and wait to die, it's better off to at least find something to attach yourself to than just be alone with your thoughts. So be a Swiftie.
I'm fascinated still to this day by the whole Joe Rogan thing, bro. I mean, I knew him from what was the Fear Factor or whatever, where he make people eat grubs and worms and shit.
Yeah.
You know, that was kind of my earliest things of Joe Rogan, and the fact that he parlayed this into the whole UFC thing and being a commentator and being I still don't quite get how all this happened. He became like one of, if not the biggest podcaster currently.
Well, I get the podcast part because when people were looking for things to listen to, he had comics on that they kind of didn't know. They knew him from a certain thing, but more importantly, it was just morons talking about dumb shit. And that was everybody else at the beginning of the podcasting was trying to be like specialist or have like a thing to talk about. It wasn't made like a TV show. Now everyone is doing, let's just be morons talking dumb shit. But when he did it was almost like when Seinfeld came out and the plot was nothing. And it's like, oh my God, you can do that? Because remember, right before that, the big show was two guys, a girl, and a pizza place. Like, they were working so hard on fucking themes, they named their show after their theme. So, that's like, the Rogan thing, that worked out because people wanted to hear more. And now he's become Johnny Carson. He has biggest politicians and stars in the world go on his show. He gets 11 million views every episode. It's like, it's insane. And listen.
Yeah, it's funny how heat attracts heat. People think that that's the place to be if you get the right kind of heat going, and he is that guy right now.
Bernie Sanders went on there. Like, who would ever thought like a guy running for president would go sit with Joe fucking, the guy who gave you cockroaches to eat?
Exactly.
Another guy you know what I like about the Joe Rogan podcast is the fact that, you know, people kind of go on there to promote their latest stuff, but he doesn't really get to that right away. You know, he kind of just has a normal conversation, like a normal everyday conversation about aliens, conspiracy theories. He reaches every topic, you know, and yeah, I think that's what the appeal is for me anyway. You know, just having normal conversations.
And to compare it, when you see Taylor Swift share her videos with her fans, they ask about her and she turns it around and asks them about them and hugs them and brings it all about like not her right away. And at the end, at the bottom, you see like a plug for her album or her tour. Yeah. But that's what people want to do. They don't want to hear about something, you know, they don't want to hear about like the thing right away. They want to feel like it's just dudes talking, and that's Rogan for the most part. Like, I don't watch UFC, so I don't listen to what the UFC ones or when he's got a hunting do on. But when he's got like the Protect Our Parks, it elevated Shane Gillis. More people knew who Ari Shaffir is now. Mark Norman, they were already big, but it made them huge stars because to be on talking like an idiot with him.
That's amazing. Now, I know I agree. I'm kind of in agreement with you that I'm not the largest UFC fan either. I've been to a couple live, like minor. We have like a minor company around here that does. It's Shogun, and they do some fights. And I saw like a big 6'+ dude like leg get snapped in half, like right in front of me. And it's kind of not anything I need to see for entertainment, you know.
Did he win?
I'm gonna say no. He did not. No. He got carried out of there. But I know that you are a big WWE fan by following you, bro. I do know that.
Here comes the hate. All right.
Well, yeah, not from us necessarily, but some people in the chat might bring it because, yes, as you can tell, it's quite a divisive topic. You either like it or you don't, right?
Yeah. Did you notice why I defended all Swifties earlier? Because when you're a fan of something embarrassing, you don't shit on other people and their embarrassing shit. I've loved wrestling my entire life. Like since I was a little kid growing up, I always watched it, and it's a male soap opera, and I've always I'll watch all of them. I mean, I don't really watch as much AEW because it's not more storyline. It's more like dudes just flipping and dancing, but whatever, to each their own. I've just always enjoyed it. It's just a nice nonsense thing to check out. So I don't watch it every day, but I do keep up with it, sadly, every day. And when I'm taking walks or running, I'm listening to wrestling podcasts more than comedy ones.
Really? That's an interesting tell. But I like how every wrestling pay-per-view, you put it out there like it's a national holiday. Like, hey, Happy Royal Rumble Day or something like that, or whatever the pay-per-view is, you make it like a holiday for yourself.
I wish everyone a happy Survivor Series or whatever.
Yes, you do. Happy Survivor Series Day.
I did it one day as a goof, just for some dumb. I think it was actually like they had one called Great Balls of Fire. That was a couple years ago. The Professor, like they named it was only a one-time pay-per-view called Great Ball. So I wanted to wish everyone a happy Great Balls of Fire because I thought that was just funny. And then 3 people commented, "Oh, I forgot it was on tonight." So I almost feel like it's my service to other losers to remind them, "Hey, it's on Saturday at 7." So
well, because we are busy with podcasting and life, I don't always know the dates of them either. But when I see you put one of those, happy this day, I'm like, oh, it must be a wrestling day because Pat Oates said so. He dedicated it as a holiday. So
I was on the air one day, then a show after, and I wasn't able to watch a pay-per-view. And someone messaged me around 6 o'clock going, dude, you didn't wish us a happy, Royal Rumble. I'm like, I'm so sorry. I didn't have time.
So obviously I'm not the only one that's noticed this, that you treat all of these wrestling pay-per-views like a holiday. So I enjoy, like you said, I can't hate on the Taylor Swiftie fans. I like wrestling. I don't keep up with it as much as I would like to because of podcasting and all. And, I've liked it since the days of NWA before Vince bought it all, WCW, and it was all bought up and everything. So I go back that long. And I do kind of like AEW because it is kind of reminds me of the, it's like the Rebel. It's the outside company or whatever.
Right. Well, NWA is now getting a TV deal too. So, because Billy Corgan just bought them a while back, and he's been running them for a while, but he just got in trouble. They might lose it because in a pay-per-view, he had one guy pretend to do cocaine. And CW was like, whoa, we can't have that. I'm like, well, they can pretend to kill each other and drive a car through a building, but they can't pretend to do cocaine. But your next show with women from California, like being drunk and being whores, that's okay. It's not real. It's all scripted. Let them pretend to do cocaine.
And you're right. In light of some of the other things and the graphic nature of them that they do choose to air on these networks, why would they pick at such silliness that like you pointed out, it's kind of scripted and kind of more obvious?
Yeah, but the funny thing is, people, the first thing they hear about, they go, it's fake. What do you care? It's fake. But then when they do something crazy, can you believe they did that? Look, yeah, it's a TV show. It's like, Godzilla and King Kong really didn't fight each other? Like,
right. And people can't seem to make the difference between a predetermined outcome and it's a physical thing. I mean, these guys, some of them, they'll do these 30-minute, 60-minute matches. I mean, it takes a lot of cardio. It takes a lot of physical. And like you said, there's some storyline around it. So while it might be predetermined, the ending, the physicalness and the athleticism cannot be denied.
Right. I mean, some of the endings you can't even see coming. Like, no one knew Chris Benoit was going to make his kid and wife tap out. Like, that was
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Oh, Chris.
That's the question I ask people on podcasts all the time. Do you think Benoit's kid tapped out, or do you think he just sold it and just passed out?
That is rough. Being a wrestling fan, that a lot of these guys have that tumultuous life if they do have a family. Like it seems to be tumultuous, and they don't always end very well. And that's certainly an example of that.
No, but at least he tapped himself out after. I mean, he shouldn't do it, but you can't just do that. And then, but poor Eddie Guerrero, if you know anything about it, Eddie Guerrero found Chavo found Eddie Guerrero, his cousin, found him dead, and then a year later, he's the one who found Benoit. So this guy's still living with the fact that his best friend and his cousin, he found both of them dead, like a year and a half apart.
Yeah, unfortunately, there's a lot of those kind of bad endings with a lot of these wrestlers. But the one thing I will say about that's happening in AEW real quick, I will wrap up this wrestling talk in a minute. But,
people get mad.
The wrestler Sting, who's been around for 30 years or more, he's finally hanging it up on one of the pay-per-views coming up on the in 2024, next year, January, Sting. And so Ric Flair he was a big guy. He put Sting over back in the day. And so he's kind of been signed with AEW to go on this ride with him, if you will. And Ric Flair, at the age of 73 or whatever years old, is still giving guys looks and out there kind of putting the work in. You're a Ric Flair fan?
I mean, I appreciate what he did. I was never a Flair guy, but the more he did it, and the longer he wrestled, I appreciate it. And he stayed to his care. The guy lives the character. He really is this womanizing drunk guy. But but what's crazy is
guys, I'm going to play this womanizing drunk guy. Okay, stay with me.
For some reason, I know how to do it. It's like, but the cool thing with it, he had the heart surgery and all that recently, and literally at the last pay-per-view, the other Saturday night, he took a fake punch to the balls and had to fall down and do a fake.
He took a nut shot,
take a bump and everything, and the guy was supposed to be dead. So obviously it's an addiction for these guys. When they do it, they can't stop doing it. And it makes me sad as a comic. It's like I've never quote unquote made it. I've been doing it and it pays my bills. But am I gonna be I know guys who are 70 and still are just going on stage and are hoping they're gonna make it. And I'm like, fuck, I'm Ric Flair. That's what it's gonna be. I'm hoping I'll get punched in the nuts and make a couple bucks. It's like,
yeah. So he's out there still doing his thing, 73 years old, taking bumps and all. And
all those guys are old doing it. Jericho's in his 50s and he's still wrestling well. So it's crazy. It's like
he is wrestling well, but Rick. I don't know if Rick should be out there, but I loved to hate Ric Flair when I was growing up. He was so good at what he did, like you said, he lived that life that I despised him, and I couldn't wait to see the show that he would lose a match to Dusty Rhodes or somebody because I despise him so much. But as I've gotten older, I respected what his overall game and his image is about, the whole storyline and all. And,
I couldn't root for Dusty Rhodes. I know everyone loved him, but he was just a big fat guy with stupid tits, and he would come out and he would speak like he was from Boston and retarded at the same time. It was like, and everybody make fun of his lisp. It's like, why is he like a tough guy? But I get it. He was the American dream. He's like the son of a plumber. But it was just like, how is he going to beat like a guy who's built like Lex Luger and shit? It's like, it was just weird to watch. As a kid, I was like, fat men can't do this.
Yeah. Yeah, you remember good old Lex Luger, that guy. He's not in such good shape nowadays. I think he overdid those steroids a little bit. I'm not a doctor.
Yeah, but he used to bang Elizabeth, so that's pretty cool.
Miss Elizabeth, I'm gonna bang you, Miss Elizabeth. Oh my goodness, the lovely Miss Elizabeth. Well, I'm gonna say a couple of guys probably did that, but
right.
Rest in
Not
peace
in
to
front of the
lovely-
Macho Man. They did. He would have killed him.
Oh no, that was another great era in wrestling. I got another. Since we were talking about that, I got like one of the other shorts from your little radio thing. I'd like to share with the people right now.
Did I
Love watching that. Check this one out. Here's another one that you did. Let's see who this one's about. Oh, they're starting over.
I think that's the one about
I'm going to
reunions.
be performing at my high school's 30th high school reunion. It's not mine. Mine will be the next year. But it should have been mine. I stayed back. That's a long story.
So
This Saturday, I'll be performing at what should have been my 30th high school reunion, but mine will be next year. But
So that's it. So it's the people you know and you should have been in the class with, I'm assuming from your statement and all, but you kind of were held behind or held yourself.
Oh, I just was an idiot kid. Like I just never went to class and walked around. Like I make the joke on stage, but like I probably shouldn't have graduated when I did. They were just like, "You're going to be too old to be near 14-year-olds. Here's a diploma." So
basically, they call it social promotion nowadays. And all.
Yeah.
So, are you a big? Were you a big high school reunion guy? Would you ever look forward to the 10-year and the 20? You're not striking me as.
I wasn't invited.
Wasn't even invited.
I don't. I stayed back a year, so I actually graduated with my younger brother, and he'll be like, "Yeah, we're going to." I'm like, I didn't. I don't think they know when I graduated. Like,
Right. So it's not anything personal or anything. They're like, hey, what are we doing with Pat? I don't know where the hell he graduated. You just get.
I
caught
also jumped around, so I went to like in the 5 years I did high school. I went to 3 high schools in 5 years, and I kept getting. I didn't get thrown out, but I was asked not to come back. And so the one I started at is the one I ended at. I actually made the full circle and came back to it. But there was 2 in between. So I don't think anyone knows where I'm supposed to be going anyway. But because I'm now known a little bit in Connecticut, like being on the radio shit like that, people from this year's reunion were like, it'd be kind of cool if you could be there. So I'm like, I guess. And it won't be a lot of people. Obviously, get the 30th. People don't live in the area. They're not going to show up. A lot of them are dead or whatever. So, like, they're going to be fat and gross. So I used to get the shit on them for being fat and gross and not like they used to be. So that's easy money.
That's funny. I thought, was it ABF? What's going on? Go ahead, buddy. Go ahead, Scott. We got.
I flunked second grade myself, and then I was on the 5-year high school plan, and I barely made it through. I was about ready to age out of high school.
Yeah, you can age out. I think you just become the gym teacher.
Right. If they don't push you out of there, then that's what'll happen. You just become part of the school. They just eat you up. Let's say.
I was like too good at gym. That was the only thing I was passing and doing well in. So my last year, they're like, well, no, you can't do gym because you're overqualified. I'm like, so I'm a psychopath who just walks around all day and has too much energy, but you're not going to let me run it off. And they're like, nope. So I was like, the year was awful. They made me go to study halls and I just had terror in there instead.
I see you out there on Facebook a lot posting when you're out there walking on trails. Walking's a big part of your kind of routine, right?
It helps, you were saying at the beginning of your show, but if you got that clinical depression and stuff like that, but taking a nice walk and just clearing your thought, and you start sweating a little, you can focus on the shit you're supposed to focus on and not the dumb shit that just gets in your head for no reason. So I like doing that. It helps you think of jokes and things like that too, but just to get out there and do shit.
That's interesting. That's something that I really don't do enough of. I do spend a lot of time in front of the computer and podcasting and all, but I do agree with that. Sometimes you need to separate and you need to experience life and to have different thoughts that you can bring to this, if you will. Yeah, so.
Right, and if you're going to make jokes about people, it's good to go out there and you can observe people and then you come up with good shit anyway. But sometimes it just really is just like, hey, if I just sit here and read all the comments about how I laugh too much or whatever and all this shit, then I get nuts. So, like, you go outside, no one's writing comments about you. So
that would be an interesting thing. You can read people's thoughts when they're have a thought bubble. Like, what's this asshole doing? Yeah, that'd be funny.
Elon's probably working on that now. So
yeah, it's probably happening soon. Yeah. Let's see. That's our friend Bone Loads checking in. He's a chat family, buddy. He co-hosts another show that I do with Andrew called Sports Heads. We do that every Friday.
Yeah.
So, bro, he's out there on the West Coast saying hello. He's laughing. See who else checking in. I Am Hawk saying, hey now. Hey now. You the man, I Am Hawk. Thank you for that. I see the Sports Head koozie you got there. Scott, Stormy's checking in. She says, I didn't say much back on TGB with Pat there, but when I did, remember he appreciated my input when I did speak. LOL. I do remember that. Yeah, like you, Stormy was sniping. She was kind of in the background. And I remember at one point you were like, this girl is like gold. Like, I don't know if you guys are catching this or listening to it, but she's saying some really funny shit.
And then it was cool that she would jump in. But yeah, I think sometimes you got to like point that out because when you're doing the show and you're trying to like listen to everybody, it's hard to sometimes.
It is.
But she was firing in some zingers. And also, you know, you don't want someone to not. If you do it and no one responds, as much as we're like, oh, it's just three of us and everyone's like, you shouldn't be laughing. If we're not responding to each other, you start to feel like, oh, should I not say anything? We still kind of on the show have to be real people and laugh and not think about the viewers. So when she was doing that, I'm like, if no one responds, is she going to stop being the funny person? She might be like, well, they're not listening anyway. So it's like, you want to like give them a little shout out, you know?
Well, I don't know. That was great, and I'm glad you did. And she still does that to this day. I don't know if you're familiar with the whole dynamic because you met us quickly, and then we kind of started doing other things. But Scott, we're all from TGB days, and Stormy is actually Scott's daughter. So,
yes, I remember that. I remember there was a whole family, and somebody was dating someone else. There was a bunch of things going on.
You remember a lot. Yeah, you remember a lot from that
I think two
show,
of them were
yes.
dating, but they had never met or whatever. I don't know. It's like it was a whole thing going on.
You retained quite a bit of the information.
Oh yeah, I don't drink.
Yeah, I've seen you talk about that too. So I'm assuming since you talk about your sobriety, there were many days when that wasn't the case. Then.
Yeah, but like I'm not. When it gets to that, I don't even call it sobriety. I just quit. So when people ask about advice, I'm like, I can't help you because I just literally woke up one day and was like, I don't want to anymore. So it wasn't like a problem. It was just. It was like one of those things. I don't like me, so when I drink, I kind of like me. And then I'm like, oh, when I'm drinking, I attract people that also don't like me, so maybe I should stop drinking. And I just one day said it'll be like what? Actually, in 2 days, it'll be 8 years. But and I just remember that because that was a day I hooked up with an ex, and then she was being mean the next day, and I'm like, oh, I shouldn't drink anymore because it makes you be here. And then I just quit.
That's an amazing connection that you made. Like, man, when I'm drunk and I draw the wrong people in my life, so.
I draw people that also feel the same way about me, and I was like, I was starting to do comedy well, and I was like, I like me, so why am I doing this? So I'm like, whatever, and I just quit. So like, I know a lot of people that go through meetings, and whatever works for you is great, but I can't help you because I just said fuck this. I don't miss it. I'm around people that drink all the time. I don't care. I never liked drinking. I liked the effects of it. I wasn't a guy who was like, oh, this beer tastes good. I was the first beer or drink was always like, ugh. And but then I felt better after having a lot of them. So it's not. Luckily it didn't become like a personality or part of my social awareness or being around people. So I didn't really need it. I figured out. So.
Yeah, once again, I'm glad you're honest about that because a lot of people, you drink it for the buzz. I can't stand these people that go, I drink because it has these essence and it tastes like this or that. It's like people drink to get shit-faced for the most part. I wasn't really into the drinking the IPA this and all of that kind of different beer stuff.
Yeah, but there are people out there who really alcohol is not for everyone, but it doesn't mean it's bad. There are people who do like the taste and enjoy it. There's like to each their own with everything. Like there's some people that want to date a midget. It's like it's not for me, but I get that you want to have it. You know what I mean? So it's like I can't judge them or do whatever. And I want them to. I like when people are drunk. I forget to speak the drunken language sometimes. I'll be chatting with someone and they'll say some wild shit, and I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, oh yeah, you're drunk, because I forget that changes how you act and stuff. So sometimes I need like a translator. But besides that, yeah, just do you, baby girl. If you drink, you drink.
Or do drunk speak? Yeah. Now, we're fortunate enough to have this like new chat family around us that and are in our chat today, and in the Shuley Show chats, and also. But a lot of us come from different backgrounds. Some like I was a Stern guy. We have people in here that like Perry Caravello, people that like O&A. Like, what did you get up there where you're at in Connecticut? Were you ever like a Stern guy or into any of these like kind of these radio guys?
Big Stern guy because he actually was out of Connecticut for a while. He was on a Hartford station.
That's right.
106.9 WCCC, which is now a different kind of
CCC.
station. Yep. So that was out of Connecticut, and then I was at the time when when Artie was on. That's when I was working not doing comedy. I was working for Tropicana. I was driving a truck for them in the mornings. So I got at the time not even a Sirius XM. There was either Sirius or XM.
Yes.
I had a Sirius radio that put in the truck with me, and I would listen to Howard 100 all day long. The repeats, nonstop, the Bubba the Love Sponges, and all that shit. And then my brother, who lived closer to New York, he would listen to Opie and Anthony. He actually was living in Boston when they were on in Boston. He moved to New York, and they moved to New York. It was weird. Even when they went to D.C., my brother moved in Virginia, so he was always around where they were, and he would always tell me about them. So I started listening to them when I could on the New York station that we would kind of get. But then when they became Sirius XM, I became a fan of that as well. So yeah, that kind of shit I always enjoyed.
Yeah, I relate to you with the Howard Stern thing. I kind of listen to the Howard 100 or Howard 101 all the time, even the repeats. I couldn't get enough of it.
The after show with the fucking Jump the Shark guy, all that shit.
With John Hine and Gary and all those guys. And
that's where I learned about Bob Levy, from that stuff. It's like.
Right, and they ended up doing Miserable Men as kind of an offshoot of that. And Bob Reevy. Hello, I'm Asian all of a sudden. Bob Reevy. He's a big reason I am here because we hang out in the Shuley Show chats and the Miserable Men chats, and they are so much fun. They let us play along with them, and they don't go like, hey, what are you guys to make these jokes? And you're not the funny ones. It's so participative. And Bob was nice enough to say, hey man, that's funny. It's funny BF and all this stuff. So I'm a big fan of Bob Levy, and he's a big reason why I'm here today. So
people know Bob from being on these things, and they can say what they want. And it's weird sometimes with these shows, people get too personal with stuff. Bob, on air, but more so off it, is one of the most supportive and just for no reason loving guys. Like he really does. If someone's trying to do something, he will support it. Him and I have been friendly since the compound days and stuff like that. But yeah, he's really is a genuinely good dude. Like he really does give a shit. He doesn't care if you're you can help his career or not help his career. That's shit he doesn't care about. It's just if you're interested in something and you're a fan of him, he's a fan of you. Bob's a good dude.
Yeah, and he's amazingly supportive and forgiving because, Bob will admit he's no angel and he'll tell anybody, he's had his trials and tribulations with drugs and stuff, but he is amazingly forgiving. And sometimes we get in these little podcast spats and they're having little fun fights and all, and he's very forgiving. He's always the first one to be and I have to I look up to Bob in that, and I go, okay, I need to be more like Bob and kind of not let the bullshit mess with my head and be a little more forgiving. So for whatever you can say about how his crazy early drug fueled past and everything, he is a nice, very generous and very forgiving guy. I find.
I don't judge anybody on their past. Their past is what's made them who they are right now. It's who are we to fucking? We're all fucking shitheads. Life is stupid. Then you die. How am I going to judge on people how they get somewhere? But they call Bob a fence sitter. He's not a fence sitter. He's a guy just recognizes that everybody has their shit. You know what I mean? So there's no point in judging this and that, whatever, because he came up at a time, same thing. He was wild, he's crazy. He's like, how dare I throw stones if, you could throw stones at me? So whatever. Yeah. I always respect Bob and his work ethic.
Yeah, Bob's a great guy.
He's doing 1,000 podcasts. The guy works. The guy doesn't stop.
He does not, right? Sure. He, I think his new producer Hack Ride, he did a show or somebody's asked him. I think it might have been Cardiff that said, Bob, there's 24 hours in a day. How do you manage to podcast for 26 of those hours? So that is Bob Levy. Yeah.
Some of these dudes, like him, I am a giant. So if this hates to me, hate, I understand, but I'm a huge Patrick Melton fan. I can watch Nobody Loves Onions all fucking day. I just like how his mind works. But that motherfucker will just get on a Friday. I'll get home from a show and he's already started and he's just high as fuck and talking for 5 hours and then wakes up the next day and does it again in the morning. It's like, how do they do this shit? How do they just continuously just go on here and constantly podcast? But more power to them. But those guys.
Yeah, to me, I mean, his show, I respect him as the broadcaster he is, but to me, it's kind of just more or less a gossip show, if you ask me. Yeah. It's a guy just gossiping in front of a camera.
Yeah,
can you believe this one said that, and this one chatted that, and this one's numbers look like that, and he's so, he's perplexed and flabbergasted by everything. It's
who doesn't like shit talk? Are you kidding me? Come on, that's why women watch The Real Housewives and all that.
Yes.
It's like I said, wrestling is like a male soap opera. Patrick Melton is a Real Housewife for shitting on the dumb shit we watch on the internet.
He is, and that is his lane. That is what he does.
And he got shit on for a while, so I respect that he can still do it because he got shit on by Red Bar or whatever for a while back in the day, and he still fucking stuck to his thing and did his shit. You know what I mean?
There we go. Agree. Let's say KB is a good. Lovely KB is checking in. She's saying.
I see KB when I'm watching. She's always in the chats for Melton and all the other shows that I watch. They're always in there.
And that's why we call it Chat Family, bro, because I do the same thing too. We have this kind of orbit or universe of podcasts that we all enjoy together as a group. And so that's what I love when you'll go into a Melton show, or you'll go into a Levyverse show, and you'll see all the same people, and you'll see many of the same people, like you just pointed out. The lovely KB will even join me here on BF Live on Monday. So that is one of the best things I love about doing this podcasting, is this kind of unexpected kind of a dysfunctional chat family.
I always wondered how their world works, though. I don't mean her so much, but like there's the people that are like the guy who gives everyone $1 million, like the Chandler guy, whatever. Like the guys who go there, but then they go do their job, and they're like, if someone doesn't know who they are, it's like, are they almost like happy? It's like Clark Kent and Superman, or like, you know, at night I just give people millions of dollars, or at night I just call people fat and gay all day from my couch. Like, but when I go to work, I'm just a mailman. Like, or do they try to tell people, do you know who the fuck I am? I'm known as the guy who makes fun of, you know, Ray DeVito a bunch. Like, it's a weird thing that they do, being known in the Chatterverse here and all the Dabble stuff, and then not being known in regular life. So I always would like to see like the behind the music of those people.
That is true, and I am fascinated and also grateful because some of those generous people have to show up for BF Live, and they show up for another show that we do on Friday nights, so on Wednesday to Friday, called Replayables, where I know you said you're not a drinker, but we kind of just...
Oh, I know. You guys just get fucking hammered.
So you have seen the show a little bit, yeah. So.
Oh, I mean, listen, if I listen to Kevin Brennan, all I hear is about how all they do is buy millions of viewers, and So it's like, I know your scam.
Yeah, well, and my whole opinion about the whole viewing thing is that they're not only looking at the views. I think they're kind of looking at that dollar amount too that we might be pulling in there, chat, Pat.
Yeah, I listen. At the end of the day, who cares if they want to put you on there? Awesome, take advantage of the opportunity and get a bigger audience. So fucking do what you do.
I think if we had 10,000 viewers and only made $10, they probably wouldn't give a shit as much, probably. But yeah.
No,
they don't.
But if they did still let you go on, that would be cool too. Like maybe they don't care. You're helping put more content on besides just did Stuttering John finger his own asshole today.
There you go. Yeah. So I see that you're kind of familiar with that whole the Stuttering John. I've seen you in a couple of the chats every now and then, right, on some of these shows.
Yeah, well, because when I go on WATP, which I also again love Carl, when I get to be on there, it's a lot of fun. But like that sucks you in. Because like I don't give a fuck about Stuttering John, never did. Then Carl started breaking down his real life and who he was. Like when I listened to Howard Stern, I didn't know he was this person. It was crazy, but like he was just known. I think it is funny though that he was known as the guy they were shitting on. That was the joke, that he stuttered and he was dumb.
Yep.
But then now he's kind of like, I'm this big star. But like,
yes,
you did get in. I'm not shitting on him, but realize how you got in there. But when I watch all that and you watch everyone shitting on him, and then I see Tukey and all these other shows, like, let's also shit on him. You start going down this rabbit hole about learning about this fucking guy you can give a fuck about, and you can't stop. So next thing you know, you're sending $5 to, I think his butt was bleeding. Like, you can't help commenting the things.
Yeah, I'm fascinated because like we talked about, we grew up kind of Stern fans, so we kind of know John for what he is. But I'm fascinated.
And Shuley, it's really weird that I could just message Shuley, a guy I listened to. It is kind of great. Like you're saying how you were friendly with Bob Levy. Mm-hmm. Would you have thought that 20 years ago when you heard him on the Stern show?
Bro,
like Bob Levy I had phone calls with Bob. Like, this is pretty fucking cool. The guy I listened to on Stern.
That does get in my head every now and then that these guys, I'm like, these are the guys that I listen to. And I've been given a couple opportunities to actually be on air with Shuley and Bob Levy a couple weeks ago. And yes, it's heady as shit, bro. When you sit there and you got to go, you can't think about them as the guys you know. You kind of got to be in and participate. But they're really, really great, generous guys going way
I know
back.
people have their opinions about him now and everything, but like the first time I was asked to go on Anthony Cumia's show and sit across from the guy who made jokes with Patrice and Bill Burr and Louis C.K. and I got to be on there, and then I was on like in 1 year's time I was a guest like 10 times. In one time it was me, Dave Landau, Jim Norton, and Anthony Cumia, three of the fastest fucking wittiest dudes,
right?
And then me keeping up, and I was like, and when they were looking at me going, yeah, dude, we respect you as doing the same thing. I'm like, this is fucking wild. And then people would put in the comments, no one knows who you are. I'm like, yeah, but these three fucking do. And that's all I give a shit about. It's like, it's cool to be asked. When I get to go on Compound and I got to fill in for him when he was out. I'm like, it says Anthony Cumia's show, and I get to be on it. That's pretty dope.
It is heady, and there's been a couple times where I've got a chat in and I made Bob Levy laugh, and I don't care if Bob Levy is the only person that I made laugh with that chat. That's good enough for me, because when a dude on his level that has seen the shit he's seen and put the jokes out that he has put out, and he can like see some humor in what I say, that's just awesome, and I love that. That's like no other drug. I love it.
In comedy, a lot of comics get to work with people. I know people like when they say they open for someone, people think it's a big deal. Most times, it's just if you're a local good comic, the club will hire you to be the guy who opens for the national guy who comes in.
Right.
But sometimes you'll work with them for a weekend, and you get famous dudes telling, "Dude, I love this bit." That's like, in as much as you're supposed to be at the level with them, it's okay to fan out sometimes. You're not. It's not like you're sucking their dick, but it's kind of cool to get their recognition, or they ask for your advice on something they're doing, and it's pretty cool. So when Bob Levy's not only like, "Hey, what you said is funny," but then Bob says to you, "Hey, will you come on our shit?" It's like, whoa, he respects what I do too. You feel good about it. There's nothing wrong with feeling good about yourself.
It does, but I go back to the point you said that these are the guys I listen to. This really happening? This is like unbelievable. Like you said, you can talk to Shuley and all. He's another good guy.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't listen as much as when Shuley got to be on the most, but I do know the name from him being on. You know what I mean? So it's still pretty cool that these guys that were on this show, that like, it would be like if we're all kind of, I think, in that age. Maybe I'm a little older, but it'd be like if all those people that were on Cheers just started like calling you. It's like, I'm just talking to Ted Danson and fucking Norm and shit. It's like, it's people I grew up listening to or enjoying, or now just people that you know. It's in this day, anyone who's 20 is like, what are you talking about? I can message every famous person. But there wasn't this. There wasn't the internet and the ability to fucking get to know them. So it is still weird for us that kind of grew half in no internet and half in internet.
Absolutely. Yep. Let's see. There's the bots running. Let's check in with the lovely KB. She's giving the purple hearts. We got Mike Hawk checking in. Mike Hawk, let's see. Bobby Nick, I got to ask, how many cigarettes have you smoked today? That's his perpetual question for Bobby Nick. You know, Bobby Nick is the epic smoker. You probably remember a little bit of that from when you were on with us last time.
Yeah.
We used to do like a little bit where we would actually try to count them, but after a while, it just came futile.
Oh, is the Nick for nicotine?
Yes, that's right.
Okay, cool. I was today years old when I figured that out.
Bobby Nick, show him what you got. Show him how you earned that name. And Bob Levy thinks that this is fake. If you show him,
you know, I got to say, Bobby friend, since I've cut back a little bit, it's cleared up a little bit.
It's got to be epic.
It's still there.
So these are their fingers. This is where the name come from. Look at that, bro.
I mean, it used to be a lot worse, though.
See the other side.
Yeah, you cleaned up a lot.
Wow, you cleaned up a lot, Bobby Nick.
Yeah, I know.
But Bob Levy would go, that's fake. He's putting brown shit on there. But
it looks like he fingered a coal miner. Like, Jesus Christ.
It looked like he put two in the stink and one in the pink.
It was all stink.
All stink.
How many do you smoke a day?
Well, I used to smoke up to 4 packs a day, but now I'm down to 2.
Well, because it's more expensive. That's why, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you roll them? Are you that guy?
No, I don't roll them. I buy the pre-made. But
I used to date a girl that her and her whole family all did that, and they'd walk in. It was like little sweatshop workers. They're all sitting there with their rollers and their dumb little fingers.
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
Yeah. I mean, Scott's got a roller. He rolls his own.
Yeah. See, there you go. But it's cheaper, right? In the long haul, it's cheaper to do that.
Yeah, Scott. What did you say you pay for a big bag of tobacco? And it lasts you how long?
Like $17. It comes up to like $1 a pack, a little over $1 a pack.
Okay.
Right. So
I've never smoked a day in my life, so I don't know anything about that. But like my dad used to smoke and stuff. Like I just sound like I smoked, but I've never had a cigarette ever. Yeah.
So you're not. I take that. That means you're not like a weed guy either, right?
No, I'm not. I don't smoke every day, but definitely if I'm after a comedy show and somebody's like, "You want to smoke?" I will definitely get high after a show or something like that. I'm more somebody like. If I'm away for a weekend and I'm performing at a casino and I don't gamble, I don't drink, whatever, but I'll definitely take an edible and walk around and watch people lose their money and cry. Like, that's fun.
That could be a fun pastime. I haven't messed with edibles yet, bro. I do like to smoke a bit, but I haven't messed with edibles.
It's a little easier than having to go outside and smoke. And I know people vape now, but I don't know. I really can't do the vape. It just feels like I I don't want to be gay yet. Like, so
yet, maybe
near the
later,
end of my
yeah.
life where it's good to have this voice and be a queen or whatever. But like that would be fine. But no, I get high when it's around. I will never buy it myself. It's just that's the one dumb thing I'll do. But I just can be an idiot on my own. So
I never thought that in my lifetime or any of our lifetimes that we would actually. It's become recreational in my state, and I never thought that I would ever see this day growing up the way we did. It's becoming so normalized, Pat, compared to when we grew up.
Oh yeah, I mean it was like you wouldn't even know if you were younger and people were doing like how you would get it. You all knew one guy and he had to know someone to go get it. And when I was in college, we had our weed dealer and this guy Sketchy Steve, and he didn't even go to school. We just met him at a party and he would come to our dorms and he would hang out. Sketchy Steve was the shit, but we didn't want to hang out with him afterwards. He would just chill with us to do that. He's like, "We're going to a party." I'm like, "Well, we're going to a party. We can't bring Sketchy Steve."
Take the hint. Yeah. I like, and all these people are like, do you like your sativa? And do you like this? And I'm like, I used to get the weed flavored weed back in the day. It's like, you would get whatever the guy had. You would get the weed flavored weed.
Yeah, he called it swag. Because it was shit in a bag. Like it was like whatever. Yeah. Like you were just like, can I get one with less stems in it? He's like, nah,
stems
man.
and seeds. You would hope it had like if it wasn't half stems and seeds.
You would, and we would keep that to the side because if we were really hurting for it, you would just chew on the stems.
Bro, no, I didn't chew them, but you know what I did one day? I got so desperate that I ground up seeds and smoked the motherfuckers.
Yeah.
I've done that before.
I had a hella headache the next day, boy.
You were an inch away from being a crackhead. That's pretty cool.
Next step was sucking dick for weed. Let's see. Our friend Boneload says, so true. I was such a huge fan of Bob, and someone in Wendy's chat said to add him on Twitter, and we just became buds from there. There you go. Yeah. There's an example right there.
But Bob's, and I'm not shitting on anyone else for not doing it, but it's just the way Bob is. If you become Bob's friend on social media, Bob considers you his friend. A lot of these guys are like, you're my fan. Bob will talk about things and say like, oh, my buddy, Bobby Friend. He doesn't say the guy who's my fan or whatever.
Right.
Bob's just a genuine guy like that. And that comes from us being a performer his whole life because you want to build an audience, but you want to keep your audience. So you like, it's dumb to act like you're better than them. We need each other, you know? So.
And I've learned that lesson well from him by participating in the chat and being open to the chat as opposed. That's why I made that point about some of these other podcasters because they act like it was like the worst thing you could do. So I think there's a fine line in there. Like you said, you don't want to do like a total all chat show, but you don't want to act like they don't exist either.
Right, but at the same time, I'm also going to be a fan of somebody who acts that way. Like, I'm a huge Kevin Brennan fan. And and people have said, like, oh, you should go on the show. I'm like, never, because he destroys everyone on that show.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to be destroyed, but I also wouldn't want to go on and ruin the show. Because I don't want everyone chatting all the awful things they think of me and then for money and then reading that. I like to watch that happen to other people. I don't want KB to be my friend. I want to look up to KB and go, he's the best.
So are you the guy that if there were 10 positive chats and one shitting on you, you would just concentrate and keep the one where they shit on you in your head the whole time? Or
that's why I take walks, Bobby. But yeah, like am I the guy who reads comments? Sure. Do I check Reddit once in a while? Sure. Is it really cool that like when I first got into these universes, everybody just fucking Compound, everyone hated me. I look like this guy Scorch, or I sound like this. I'm retarded Seth Rogen. All these things said nonstop, which I found funny too. But I'm like, oh, what the fuck? I'm just trying to be funny. And now it's like 80%, this guy's funny, we like him, all this. And then somebody else will shit on me, but I'll laugh at it. Like sometimes they say some shit, it's like, dude, that's fucking hilarious and it's great. Like if I see it in comments, I'll like it. They're like, oh, like the other day when I was on the WATP and we covered a podcast about fat gay men, and someone goes, perfect for Pat since he's both, and I'm like, thumb, like, yeah, dude, that's hilarious. Call me fat and gay. That's a good time.
And you're right. It is funny. I had to develop a thicker skin in doing these podcasts because you do see all of these comments, you know, positive and negative come in there, and you kind of have to decide how you're going to like proceed with it. But I just, you know,
positive or negative. The cool thing is you're learning this too. They're watching, and if we're Stern fans, we were kind of raised on that whole thing from the movie. It's like a big portion watch because they like him, but a bigger portion watch and listen because they hate him.
Because they hate him.
Either way, you're paying attention. You know who I am. It does. It sounds a little cocky, but it's what I do. I stand on stage and say my dumb thoughts. You have to be a little cocky and selfish. So if some guy's taking his time to go, Pat Oates sucks, I'm like, yo, I'm in that guy's head. That's dope.
The whole no press is bad press, you know, or any press is good press.
Once in a while, it's nice for no one to know you, though. It's like,
let's see. She said KB says she's doing well. Let's see. We're checking in with some of the people again. Only a psychopath could hate Bob Levy. That's from our friend Terry Nee. There you go.
Terry writes, I mean, especially on Brennan stuff, like he writes some fucking hilarious shit.
Terry Nee is very funny. Now, getting back to Brennan, I did watch Brennan every day. I try to, because I'm a big fan of Bob, supporter Bob. He supports me, with mutual love kind of thing. So I would watch him, and it just seemed like it was a square peg in a round hole over there. Like Brennan does the whole misery thing, and he's quite well at it. And I can see that you're a big fan of it. But do you think there's much of a blur or a line between how he really acts and what he's doing on the show?
See, that's what I like. We don't know.
You don't
and
know.
He doesn't
Figuring it out.
let you know that. I mean, obviously, he's got a wife and he has children, and he rides a bike. He does human things, and so he's obviously a human. He's just found a new lane to be the actor, which is Kevin Brennan. Is that 100% him? I don't know. I kind of don't want to know. I like that, like with wrestling, I like kayfabe sometimes. You know what I mean? I like not seeing the wizard behind the curtain. I like that no matter what, he's yelling and getting mad or whatever. If he stops, but if you really watch the show, everyone he's ever hated, they come back.
Well, it's
There's
right.
something
Everybody's
there.
coming.
Chad comes back.
Yeah.
He makes fun of Ray. He comes back. The old time comics that no one gets to hear from. Like one of the first gigs I ever got paid for was by Phil Selman. All of a sudden one day I'm like, fucking Phil Selman is on the company. It's weird. Barry Ribb, who I love, he takes care of Barry. Might shit on each other, but he does have a heart. Obviously, he's not just. It's not helping the views. We all love that world, but that world is like 1,000 people. It's not.
Yeah.
If you tell people about all the stuff we're saying and they don't listen, they're like, "What the fuck? What the hell is a ski mask?" Like no one knows what anything is. You know what I mean? We just know all this shit because we pay attention to it. So KB's very smart at becoming the ringleader of that world, and everything kind of comes off him. You know, he's a Dabbleverse, but it's the KB-averse. I mean, really, everything kind of stemmed off what he did, and now either shitting on him or being friends with him, whatever. And I liked him and Bob together because you don't want three of the same guy.
Right.
I think the best version of MLC was Bob and Kevin shitting on Chad. And I'm not a Chad fan,
good.
but it was the most you didn't need a guest, you didn't need it was just the best.
Yeah.
Yeah, those two would just beat on him for the whole show, and
he just took it or didn't get it or whatever.
Yeah,
and it's not my cup of tea. But I've been on a show with Chad once or twice. Not a bad guy. I mean, yeah, I hear. I mean, obviously criminally, he's a bad guy. But like, and when I talked to him, he's a nice guy to me. I don't know what the real Chad is. You do know the real Bob. That was a little weird because when they would get on him, you're kind of like, oh no, because you actually knew Bob was a real human, and it was two people that you didn't know if they were characters or not, piling on him. So when he left, it has been a little harder for me to watch because I like that dynamic so much. And when they just have Ray and then like a 70-year-old whore, I'm like, I don't know if I'm going to watch today.
Yeah.
But like you try to.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I like them, and I can respect and I understand what Kevin is doing, and when he's doing his podcast, he's doing his misery base. That's what people love. But I didn't really care for how him and Bob ended up with the whole separation and all, because Bob was there every day for him doing the show, and then it turned up, allegedly at the end of the pay cycle, he decided to cut him loose before he paid him, and
but that's
it's
also
known that he
two sides.
owes him some money.
Right, but you say that, but if you're watching it like a soap opera, like it fucking is.
Yeah.
That's what would happen. The people that were good friends, what happened? Some dumb thing happened. Oh God, now Bob is somewhere else with another person. Like, and even that whole thing back and forth where two men were fighting for the pretty girl, which was Bob Levy. That was crazy to watch. Like, and everything, they would all shit on it, but they both, and if you're Bob, you got to feel amazing. Like all these weird men are just like, we need you. And he's like, all right, so I'll be wherever you guys need me to be. Yeah. If you're a Bob fan, you're mad about that, but if you're a KB fan, you're like, Bob's lying. So it's like you can divide, but people still, like you said, once we get back to it, in the chat, the same people. I see Terry Nee, I see KB, I see all these people in all the chats, all giving their opinion, but they're still supporting all the shows.
My lovely sister, you might have seen her name, Kathy Linder, she's also a fan of Kevin. So I'm like, really? A2 Kathy? Really? You're supposed to be supporting me? But whatever, she's my sister, and if that's what she likes, I understand that some people really like that lane, and they're really entertained by that kind of anger and that misery thing, and that's it. That's his
like
niche.
I'm friendly with Carlos Danger, and I'm like, he goes on and gets like turned it on by everybody, but he at the same time he almost comes in like he's the reporter of all the things that are happening. It's like, and he doesn't want to be made fun. He'll say that because I don't want to go on today. I don't want to get made fun of today. I've got things to do. But like, it's so funny how these people get into that world. So like, to me, I can be fans of all of them. I don't care if they're fighting. I can watch all different kinds of shows because I like the mean world they do. I can't handle it. That's why I left Twitter. That's why it's not for me. I can have a thick skin, but I don't need to be shit on by strangers ever. Like, you're in Australia and you hate me? Like, seriously? Like
you don't need to know that?
Like, what? I don't need to know that. Like, and you want to yell at me about things in my life that other people said? I don't need that shit in my life, but man, do I like watching it. It's a guilty pleasure.
Crikey, Pat Oates. Let's see. So you were talking about the compound, and I noticed that you were doing some stuff up there at compound with Anthony. I understand he's getting better, recovering from his surgery.
Sure. I don't know him as a person, so it's like
I'm only going by what I see on Twitter.
Right, me too. I don't, I'm not on Twitter much. I don't see anything. I've asked Bobby Tamburo sometimes, and he's like, I think he's getting better, but they don't hear much either. So it's gotta be tough if you're a subscriber to Compound because you're subscribing for Anthony. They do have other people on it, but like, it's not the same. If I'm a fan of Anthony Cumia and I turned into Anthony Cumia's show and I saw Pat Oates, I'd be mad too. You know what I mean?
I got to learn. I only learned of Cumia after the fact because when it was Stern, when it was O&A, when he was competing against them, Howard went scorched earth and they weren't worth anything. So I really didn't have opportunity to listen to them until these days. And I really admire Cumia. He's a great impressionist and a great broadcaster and all. I did see a picture of him playing some cards with the boys the other night. But the funny part, Pat, is that rather than having the Budweiser around him, he had a Canada Dry ginger ale in front of him, so that was kind of telling.
Yeah, but that also goes well with whiskey. See, you never know. You know what I mean?
Good point. He might have been fooling us all. Good point.
Or just making sure like doctors aren't watching.
Doctor photo. That's right. That's what I was thinking. I got a Facebook post here of your most recent visit. Said today was a blast. This is when you do what's this conspiracy nuts?
We just made that up for that one show. Like they asked me to fill. I filled in twice since he's been gone, and like. We could do the POS thing. I was like, Bobby wasn't gonna be around. I want to do that. I don't want to call it the Anthony Cumia show. So I have a buddy who I've known for years and years. My buddy Brandon, who came on. He's a huge conspiracy guy. He's preparing for the world to end and all that kind of shit. So I thought he'd be fun to be on. And then we could just shit on other stuff too. So we kind of just gave it a dumb little theme, calling it Conspiracies Nuts. Because I thought it'd be funny to say D's nuts in a joke. That was really all I was going for. So it was just another way to fill in 2 hours and make it something different at least. So
that's cool. And Bobby's still up there working at Compound, doing his thing with the boys and the dump and all that.
Yeah, he's a producer. They got 4 of the best guys in booths that there is, like with Steve and Garrett and Drew and Bobby. They're not only like good at their job at producing, but they're all fucking funny and they add to shows. Talk about shows at their best. The best version of In Hot Water was the Aaron and Gino when it's Garrett and Steve. Like the 4 of them were so. Yeah. They would do the Indian voices. It was fucking wild to fucking listen to the shit they were doing. And that was the best dynamic of that group there. It's like.
Yeah, when they were hitting on each other. Yeah, I love the boys. Like sometimes I would just watch the dump and just be entertained by just the booth guys for like, a solid half hour or more. So let's see. Our friend Brian Kowalczyk is checking in. The bees knees. What's up? Yeah, see, I'm glad that you recognize all these people and all. So so you up there doing that with Bobby, but normally when Bobby's not up there doing his thing, I say I appreciate a good and clever troll. KB, see, KB's a hardy one. I've noticed here, Pat, is that she gives no fuck. She'll give it back. She'll take it just as much as she gives it, and all. So,
but if you read, and I hate to be the dork that really does pay attention, but like when you look at all the people chatting and stuff, KB's got respect that a lot of them don't get. Like nobody's.
You're right.
When they're calling all the other ones whores, no one's fucking with her. And if they do, she almost like a queen bee. Doesn't need to do shit. The drones go, what the fuck are you doing? Leave her alone. So right. I kind of like that she's like the classy one of the group there. It's like,
yep. She's the one not to mess with. There you go.
Because some of them, they'll just be like, you're a dumb whore. And I'm like, she just said hi. Like, what is that? It's like you're all lonely men in a chat. Be nice to the female that actually knows you exist. What are we doing?
Yeah, you do see that bitterness come out. Like, I think, somebody's mad at all women when I see some of these guys go hard in the chat. They kind of show their hand a little bit.
And it's also like, what I like about that too is because it's the other fake names, you can't know anything. You can't look up what a ga is. You know what I mean? So it's like, but it's like, I'm sure she's a nice person and she's just watching a show and people are like, no, she's a dude sometime. Like, what is going on? Like, so you read the chat, and sometimes I have to stop reading the chat because I miss 20 minutes of the show because I'm like, what the fuck's going on here? But it's like, they all seem nice. I don't know.
They do. Our friend Terry Nee says Chad's a bad criminal. That's the
Well,
opposite of a
he's taking some stuff.
Allegedly, right? There you go. Brian
Well, it's not
Cole,
alleged. He was
okay. I like to throw that out there. Just cover my ass. Let's see.
No, but he literally admitted to some of the
I know,
stuff.
yeah.
I mean, the cops were involved. Remember?
I know they love busting his balls about every credit card joke you can make. Let's see. Stormy, a KB, is a good sport. Yes, she is. She's not afraid to give it back. Classy, Chris Mack. And KB says, "Oh gosh, that is so nice. Thank you. Nice of you, Pat. There you go."
Is that the voice she has?
No, that's kind of what I thought of it.
A Southern gay man.
Southern gay man.
We're not Rickin'.
Sometimes I catch myself doing. I'm like, I don't know where that came from. Let's see. Let's see. Terry Nee, the Queen Dabbler is KB. Very good. Let's see. All right. So yeah. So you and Bobby, I noticed you're kind of popping up more lately. I've seen you popping up more live.
Well, I mean, if you know my history of being on other people's podcasts, especially yours,
Yes.
for a while I had a shitty laptop. I didn't.
I wasn't going to out you, boy.
No.
I was going to let you do it.
Out me away. I was, if anything, I owned it all the time. I would tell people, you would be like, you want to come on? I go, I can, but it's not going to fucking work. Because like, I had a shitty laptop. I didn't know if it was my internet, whatever. But then I was like, finally, when I started going on more, I'm like, I enjoy being on these things. I would like to go live instead of just doing whatever. It's fun to have. I like to chat and stuff like that. So I wanted to be able to deal with it myself. So I'm like, fuck it. Get a laptop, whatever, and then now I'm able to be on and not have a shit break up or whatever, so I can be on these things more. And that's why Bobby and I go live now, because we don't have a big viewership, and I'm not afraid to say that we haven't really gotten a lot of people to pay attention. We also haven't been, regimented in how we go on. We try to go on certain days, but so people can't get a rhythm to it anyway.
Yeah.
But so if we have a show and it's him and I, maybe a guest chat, and 5 or 6 people are there, it becomes a show of 8 people. Because I'll read everyone thing they do. We'll go off comments and their things. I enjoy it more that way. So, but with Bobby's schedule, because he's got certain nights of compound where he's later or earlier, he can't. And I have shows at certain nights. We can't always do exactly the same day. But at least with the live thing, like you do, we can at least put it out there. Hey, tonight we'll be on this time, so some people can know, rather than just like, hope to record it, hope to do this and that, whatever, hope to get it edited by this time. It's also just easier to record it live and just leave it there and not to fuck with it.
Yeah, I've never been a big editing guy, and I'm surprised because you think it would be kind of intimidating to do live, which it can be. But just growing up a radio fan and seeing how Bob and everybody else does it, I enjoy the live thing. I don't like going in and trying to tape something and then kind of splice it up and make it what I think it should be for the people. I just like going on live and just let shit fly, good or bad.
Well, I mean, I do stand up, so it's for me. It's weird sometimes when I'm not in front of a live audience. So at least this feels a little more natural. Yeah, I can't hear them or see them, but to be even on radio at first, it was weird not to say something and then get laughter or a reaction. So I like it live because at least I don't have to like overthink it. I can just say whatever the fuck I want.
Okay, so if you do, please go out and let Pat know that you saw him or heard about him here on BF Live. Go ahead and like, share, and subscribe at Pat Oates right there. He does the POS show with Bobby Tambora right there, right here on YouTube. And set your notifications, and that way they might pop on any given night. You'll know when it happens. Pat, going back to the Kevin Brennan show and Ray and Chad, did you see any of the roast battle?
I actually watched Melton break it down. So I watched it through Melton's thing. That way, so yeah, I saw all of it. So,
yeah, I watched it. I was sitting here the afternoon and watched it and recorded it. What are your feelings on like roast battles or rap battles in general? Being like a comedian,
you can't do a roast battle on a podcast.
Yeah, that's because when you said something about the feedback in the crowd, that's kind of that's one of the things they were talking about is that you don't give that immediate feedback, so you don't know if you're bombing or not. You really don't have no gauge on how you're doing.
It's just like I don't like to do roast battle one-on-one. I think that's kind of good. I also don't like having to write a bunch of jokes that I'll never use again.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just writing it for, like, a guy, and then now I have jokes about some fucking guy. But, like, I've been hired to be on, like, daises for, like, people and do that kind of stuff where you're, like, writing about a bunch of people, and you can get material out of that kind of thing. But you're also, at the end of the day, even though you're all shitting on one guy, you're also celebrating that one person. And it's a fun vibe being around the other comics and people that know him and him that person themselves, where you're having a good time and it's different than a normal comedy show. In a one-on-one, let's just shit on each other contest, especially on a show which is known for shitting on people, you've got to come out more guns. When I heard there was going to be a roast battle on fucking MLC, like, it has to be the most vicious thing ever. And if it's not, they're just both going to get shit on. And they're both roles on that show are two men that no one supposedly likes.
Yeah,
I mean,
they were
real
supposed
life,
to be
other
both
people
Cleveland
do.
middles that nobody liked, right?
Yeah, and then you got listen, Mike Buschetti's a nice enough guy, but when he's judging something, it's like he doesn't even know if he's sitting or standing. Like, he's on the fucking thing.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, Mom, be quiet and make me a sandwich. It's like, what the fuck's going on in the background? And then, like, you got Earl, who's friends with Chad, and I like Earl.
Yes.
But you got to have real people judging the thing if you're gonna do it. And then, like, they tell you to vote, and then you don't know what the vote's real. And I know it's all like a show, and I get why they did it. But at the end of the day, nobody was gonna give them a chance to be funny. We're watching it to say they suck.
Oh, yeah, that's
why
the
we're
start.
watching.
And, right. Until I see enough to prove that you don't suck, this sucks. Right. I agree. That's probably most people's take on it.
Even
but-
if they did a good job, everyone's breaking. They knew.
Yeah.
They're going to get broken down, analyzed. 5 different podcasts were breaking it down like game film for the Super Bowl. It's 2 morons yelling, "You're dumb. No, your brother's dead. No, whatever." It's like it's all it was. It's like, and it was silly and something different on MLC, so that was kind of cool than being the same thing. But yeah, it was never going to be good. They had no chance to be good.
Yeah, that's some of the things I'm fascinated with now. Is like you talked about the breaking down of all of this stuff goes on in the Dabbleverse or whatever you want to call it. Is that you have shows that report on the shows, and now you have another layer of shows that report on the people that reported on the freaking shows, and you're like where does this end? Like you interviewed the person that did the show, and it's so crazy how much mileage we can get out of all this silliness.
Well, it's not going to end until people stop watching them.
I guess so.
You know what I mean? Like a Phil Elmore exists because people are paying attention to Phil Elmore, and he becomes like the reporter on the thing, and then people want to hate him. It's like he's just capitalizing on a product that's there. At the end of the day, all these guys, Cardiff, Tukey, all them, yes, they do other things too, but they were smart to get into the universe, so you know who they are, so now they can do other things as well. You're smart to talk about Stuttering John if all these people are focusing and giving money on the topic Stuttering John. Carl was the mastermind, but Carl also does his other thing too, which was make fun of other podcasts. That was the thing first, but when he did focus on John or Opie, whatever, it got him attention. He got Anthony's attention by talking about Opie. You know what I mean? Yeah. He got everyone else's attention by talking about Stuttering John and taught other people to do it. So of course now people are going to make fun of that because they see the attention. So you're just going to keep going down the same rabbit hole.
Everyone's feeding everyone else's fire. But you talk about people that aren't welcome right away, and Phil Elmore, and that they're all like, who is this guy? And then it got exacerbated or doubled down by the fact that he was known for kind of writing that letter to the club. And I think that kind of put.
But he also knows karate.
Yeah, he does.
So come on, he's a fat guy who does karate. How can you not like a guy who puts out a video, no matter what? He knows that's out there. He can laugh at himself enough that he put out that karate. Come on, that's good shit.
Yeah. So
at the end of the day, the guy's trying to capitalize. Like I said, when I first started going on these shows, who the fuck is this guy? This guy sucked. Yeah. But if you can continue to go on it, those people eventually will go, I remember when you sucked. It's like, well, I never really sucked. You just, but whatever. I'm happy you like me now. It's like, that'll happen or it won't happen. But it'd be dumb if you're somebody who's trying to get some follows and trying to get some, clout in this little world. You'd be dumb not to talk about it. Because if you talk about it, you'll get people to watch you.
Yeah, so it's funny. So he's like the latest addition to it. I have a little clip of you and Bobby kind of doing your thing, and our boy Scott Fitzpatrick kind of chimed in. If you guys set your notifications, go out to @PatOates here on YouTube and set your notifications to let you know when they're coming on live. And I guarantee you'll have a good time hanging out with Pat and Bobby Tamburr. The boys.
I don't guarantee that, so I don't want your money back.
Okay, well, I'll guarantee that. And okay, here we go.
Laugh. What the fuck?
Check this out.
Well, thank you for joining us, Scott.
Oh, okay, yeah, okay, I remember that.
That's where Scott was connecting the pieces.
Yeah, dude, what's up?
Ironically,
I think I could pay for
basement is typically where you find good hookers.
That was a podcast that had a bunch of people on it. It was like they had 8 people on the show.
It seems like a fun time. Just based on
Okay.
the ghetto basement.
I could pay. I think if I had to Sophie's choice it, pay for a sex on a podcast called The Ghetto.
All right, so that was one clip that we had. Scott
That was the
checking in
show
here.
where Bobby taught me how to get escorts online.
Right.
Because I'm very vanilla. I would never do it. Not that Bobby does, but he knew the world, and I just didn't understand it. So our plan wasn't that, but it just became an hour and a half of like the sites that do that, how it's legal, what the hourly rates and the weird letters. It was a very strange. I have knowledge I still can't use. But
how much they would charge for the poop on your chest and stuff?
yeah,
like
like that, or like even the more so, like what certain terms meant, like what Greek meant, and things, all the things that you could put. And Bobby had a whole list of stuff. Then he had to keep reminding us that he doesn't do it; he just knows. I'm like, whatever, dude. But like, it's
Yeah, he's a horny guy himself. I've seen your book about a year ago. So you guys did a show with the porn star Ebony Mystique, I believe. I seen.
Yes.
Bobby was quite smitten with her, wasn't he?
Yeah, well, there's that woman, Lainey, whatever, and she helped out with like come on stuff, and she would reach out to other podcasts. So, and if you want some of my porn star ladies to come on, but she has like the minor league baseball of porn stars, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
like they're fine. But when Ebony Mystique was that, and she's like, "Let me tell you about her." I go, you don't have to. I can from the name, I can tell what it's gonna be, and it was like it was basically like the black Kool-Aid guy coming on the show, but like it was fun and we can just joke and have fun because it's like I'm a comic that's not super well known, and she's somebody who gets fucked and isn't known. So it's like there's the same kind of thing. So like whatever, we'll have you on.
And I like when you talk about how some of them are more business oriented than others. Some of them are just like lay there and have things happen to them. But some of these ladies really have it on the ball and have like these little cottage industries out of porn.
Yeah, there was what was her name? Randy James. When I was on the Wet Spot a couple years during COVID, it was like we were doing. She was fascinating to like learn about like how her and I basically do the same thing. We have to reach out to people, book our own things. It's like the only difference is I wasn't just getting jizzed on, but like she's making more money, so maybe I should consider it. Like, but she was out there doing the same kind of hustle and everything, and she was, she had a great personality, had to sell it, but she knew that if she put on her own movies, like I put on my own shows, sometimes you can make more money than you can working for someone else. So it's like. It was kind of cool to have that conversation back and forth.
That's cool. And yeah, like I said, I enjoy listening to you and Bobby talk. How did you guys meet? Because Bobby is a younger guy, but he's definitely an older soul. I know he has a lot of old references, and he seems to be an old fan of like old life and comedy and stuff.
He talks about some shit that's older than me. I'm like, I'm he's a big fan of Harry Chapin, and I don't fucking ever listen to Harry fucking Chapin. He quotes him weekly. I'm like, what the fuck? But he's also from like a weird part of Pennsylvania where I think time stopped for a while. But I met Bobby through Compound because he's worked there. So when I would go on there, I met him, and I had him come on my show one time when I was just doing a solo thing, and I liked him, and I was like, oh, when we started beginning of COVID, I'm like, want to start doing some shows? I'm like, would you want to come on every week and do shit together? And it's a good mix because we're two totally different people. So I think our opinions. I don't like when you watch a show and everybody has the same opinion. I kind of like that.
Can be no
he has
fun.
one thought, I have the other, and we can kind of battle. We argue sometimes. It's fun.
It is, but there's some kind of like bond there because it's just like two guys just sitting there chilling, like two bros and all, and
it's like older brother, younger brother.
Yeah,
I think
it is.
I
have a younger nephew who I kind of hang out with, and we go to hockey games, and I do think he kind of keeps me busy and keeps me young. So when I see you guys doing that, it kind of reminds me of the relationship I have with him.
But also same way, I'm sure when he says dumb shit, you call him out in the dumb shit. You don't just say, "Oh, that's fine."
Yeah.
Like, and he'll call me out, old man, this, that, whatever. So it's like we have fun with it.
It is fun. Yes, I would recommend if you're ever there, everyone check them out. There's KB.
See, once again, KB is so fucking famous in this world that she gets more hellos than the people on the shows. When you watch that, everybody checks in with her. That's some baller shit. Like,
but we'll have to have her back on again. KB was on early on.
Yeah, but then who will run the chat? Like, if she's not there and she's on the show, then once again the patients run the asylum.
Yep, who keeps the chat straight? Brian Kowalczyk says 100. Pat, this is a great community. And NBF, we getting a replayables this weekend? Yes, you are. This Wednesday, the pre-turkey day. Wednesday is our normal day, and we know a lot of people are, hopefully, if you're not traveling, you're already settled in where you're going to be for turkey day, and you're going to be sitting there drinking and dreading, oh, God, I got to be around this one tomorrow, and I got to be around that one. And if you do that, hop on the Shuli Network, too, at 8 p.m. on Wednesday. This Wednesday, and we're going to have a little gobble special there, so check us out. Yes, we will have replayables this Wednesday. Our friend Sunday Jenna says, have to run and catch the rest on replay. Enjoy the afternoon. Thank you, Sunday Jenna. We appreciate you. The lovely Stormy says, you would think these guys involved in these shows and chats wouldn't want such a sausage fest at KB. There you go. We use that term a lot, Pat, because you probably recognize that too, is that it seems like these podcasts are dominated by women. So I really love when these hardy women come in and kind of stick out a little bit.
Yeah, it's like a lot of men are in it, but there are a lot of women in it, but I think it's like the men think that it's good to like, women are dumb because like that's what the guy on the show said, but it's like,
right.
You're just a guy on the show is being a character trying to be funny. Like when I'm on stage and I say wild shit after the show, people in the audience will come to me and say wild shit at me. I'm like, you're just a regular person yelling awful things. I was doing it for money on stage. Like, you're just being a terrible person. So like in the chat, it's like when they say that, it's like, well, why are you guys share an interest? Like it's so like in this day and age, like when people are on dating apps and trying to figure out who likes who and you can't meet people, you're literally on a show, you're watching a show you like, and a woman who usually more times than not isn't gross, is like watching the same thing. You literally have an interest. So to call her a cunt right away is kind of weird. You know what I mean? Like you can just be nice to her.
Right, I look at it this way you do, that if they're in here, they must be a different kind of level woman and somebody that I could probably roll with or hang with. So
Yeah, well, they're not going to care that I'm like, a garbage person or poor, because they are too. They're watching this dumb shit. Like we're right. You're right. It's like when you want, like, if you're a guy and you're into a certain fetish and like you're a weirdo and you got to wait for months dating a girl to ask for it, you can find out right away. Like, hey, lady, sometimes I watch white men just yell dumb shit at each other. She goes, me too. Yeah, we're already in love. You know what I mean?
You're already off to a big start, a great start there. That does sound good. That's all right. Let's see. There's Kathy checking in, my sister. She's, what did I miss, Stormy? Oh, I don't know. Got to catch up on that. I just found my nunchucks this morning out in the shed. Video incoming, our friend Chris Mack says.
Yeah, he's doing some Phil Elmore shit.
He's inspired by Phil. See, we're all inspired one way or the other. There's the bots running. I can double comment. I'm on a computer and a phone. You go, E-Dub, and you do that. E-Dub. Let's see. I was lucky enough to meet her in Vegas. She's an outstanding human being. I forgot who. This is from
That's KB.
Ago. Oh, yeah, okay, that's right.
Yeah, because they literally talked. Brendan and them were all talking about, well, we got to meet KB, but even there, she's like the Pope. It's fucking nuts, dude.
I met the lovely KB in Pottstown.
See, you remember when you did?
Hell yeah.
She's a star.
There was a time when you'd hear KB and you'd think Kevin Brennan, but now when I hear KB, she comes to mind first.
Yeah,
because when Kevin would hear, who KB? I wasn't over in that chat. Like, no, we're not talking about you, Kevin. We're talking about the lovely KB. Let's see.
Oh, how dare you don't find Kevin Brennan attractive? How dare you?
Here's a talented dude checking in, and he was part of giving my name last night. It's Hack Ride. What's up, Hack Ride? Hack Ride. Long live the American Buffalo. So saw that clip I was given the name by Bob Levy last night at Buffalo. So now I'm Buffalo Bob apparently, or just Buffalo. I'll have to figure out what the
you don't want to be Buffalo Bob.
I know that's what's been used. It sounds like I'm an old pervy kid puppet guy or something. Oh, good. I'm Buffalo Bob. I come to feel you. Yeah. I don't like the Buffalo Bob thing either. We'll work on that. We got the dumb lady brain, Stormy said. We got the dumb lady brains. The Dabbleverse chicks have way thicker skin than the guys. And Stuttering John. Yeah, right. No shit.
Well, it's also because the women that are listening to this, they don't care what these men have to say. But the men actually care if KB or Stormy and them do like what they have to say. So it's not even a thicker skin. It's just they already, I have 4 sisters. If you're a woman, you're being said, people are saying weird shit what they want to do to you most of your life. So like, if they're in here and someone calls them dumb or stupid or fat, they're like, yeah, that's Tuesday for me. But us men, we're just like, we think we're tough, but then when a girl goes, you might be gay, it's like, oh no, I'm gay, and then they lose their minds and hate her because we can't handle it. Women are just naturally tougher because everyone's just trying to fuck them all the time.
Let's see, our friend Hackride says, it's like they say of acting. It takes more of a woman and less of a man to be a great actor or actress. Thank you, Hack Ride. E-Dub is shouting out Hack Ride. Hack Ride says, I'm here, BF. I'm one of your Buffalo soldiers. Buffalo soldier.
Yeah, I think that's almost like doing blackface. You can't do that. Like,
I'm Bob, but I don't have the Marley part.
Yeah, you're like Jafaking it.
Jafaking it. Hey man, welcome. I'm white Rasta man. Hey man, what you doing? I'm Buffalo.
I like that your Jamaican is Chinese too. That's pretty.
Thank you.
Oh, Buffalo soldier. Oh,
Buffalo. Hey man,
don't worry about thing. Everything gonna be all right.
you want egg roll? It's good thing.
Oh.
See, I like that. I like when people point out the dumb shit that I do, shit that I don't realize.
I also can't do impressions. That's why I pointed it out.
Wait a minute, I didn't say I couldn't do any.
I do a Chinese guy. That's about it.
You do all the racial stereotypes.
Yep.
I do Dunkin' Donuts employee. Hello, no, you cannot have more chocolate. No, fuck you.
I was on a show with a guy who did that in his act. And I'm like, what is this, 1983? Holy shit. You can't just do, a guy with the Quickie Mart. Like, oh shit, dude.
Can't do Apu no more from Stimson.
Well, it's just the crowd. It's not even that no one's offended. They're just like, what the fuck? Like, who's even doing
yeah,
it?
right.
It's been
Like,
done
yeah.
so much.
Yeah, you can't, right, exactly. You are the Buffalo. Simple, elegant, and good on merch. I like it. The Buffalo. All right. BF Live, the Buffalo.
The white Buffalo.
White Buffalo.
So wait, so are all the sidekicks of your show the Buffalo Wings?
Oh, I like that. We got to work it out. We're gonna have some coffee. We're gonna do a session.
And when you have Levy on, he's blue cheese, so that's fucking perfect.
Damn,
Yeah.
bro. I love it. Like shit's coming together. See, I love natural shit. Don't have to make none of this shit up. We are Jamaicanese, if you please. Hello, Hackrai man. How you doing?
We are Jamaicanese, if you don't please.
Let's see. No, make it funny. You can do anything. Black Santa made his debut last night on the Wendy show, and he killed.
That was something else, man. Oh my god, I was just laughing my ass off.
Is it like the reverse? He goes on your chimney and takes gifts?
Wait a minute.
We never got that far with it, but
back, you son of a bitch. See that? There you go. Our friend from the UK is checking in. Kyoto Whiskers. See that must be why I started talking. Even though he's not Japanese, I see Kyoto and I start to hello, Mr. Kyoto Whisker. I don't know.
All right.
It's my racial stereotype.
That's definitely Asian. Although that's an Asian name, Kyoto.
Yeah. Let's see.
It's not Irish.
Wait, that guy's name is Peter, right? No, let's see. Black Peter? I don't know if we're talking about the Black Santa or not. Let's see.
Black Peter's like a penis?
All right, yeah, I guess so,
yeah. It's a dick joke.
So, when I was out there looking for some Pat Oates content and some little clips and stuff to play, I found this one little clip, Pat, and I would like you could tell us how it kind of came to be. But this is like an animated clip of I won't play the whole thing, but this is you doing a little bit of your stand-up. It's called Pat Oates Crowd Working.
Oh yeah, my buddy Dan Brown is on my show all the time. He's an animator and he made this up. So.
Well, we had you on before, and I didn't see this the first time, so I'm gonna play a little bit of this because, much like Hackrai did with Bob Levy last night and animated just some speech off of the air that he did. Somebody took some of your stand-up content and just put it to a little animation. I thought it was cute. Check this out.
Did you just give me a Harry Potter spell? Was it Olga? See. But you say Olga. You made Olga hot. Fuck off. Who name's Olga hot? First of all, this sucks because Anthony Jeselnik does a joke where he goes into the Reds for real, did crowd work, and the person said their name was Olg. And I thought that would never happen again. I can't do that now with you because someone else better did it. Because your name's Olga. What does that mean in your language?
What I like that he did a little later on, he started like actually making drawings of like the things I was saying. And, like, I didn't ask him to do that. He just kind of went into it, and like it was kind of cool to see like the things I was making up and stuff. So yeah, Dan's a pretty talented dude.
That's cool. So, so Dan Brown, I've heard the name before, but I'm not too familiar with him to know that he's obviously an animator and does this.
He's a comic. He's an animator. He's a musician. He does a bunch of shit. Yeah, I've known him through comedy through the years, so I always have him on our pod. He'll come on our podcast. He likes to get real drunk and come on. Like he was on like a week ago, and he just started yelling about Mark Twain and the Gaza Strip, and we don't even know what the fuck that means. So like we just let him go. Like he has these stories about all these awful things happen to him in real life, and he doesn't even realize how bad they are. Like he had these retarded men were trying to have sex with him when he worked at Barnes and Noble, and he started telling us about it. And we're like, we weren't bringing it up; he just shared it. And we're like, go ahead, man. The floor is yours. Go ahead.
So that can be a great gem for a podcaster where you just have this drunk friend who has all these kind of cool experiences, and he just gets drunk and comes on and you just kind of let it fly, right?
And on stage, he's really just a joke teller. He writes these wild, crazy jokes. He's funny, but he doesn't talk about himself. So the only time you can hear him talk about himself is when he comes on my podcast because he doesn't really go on any others. So it's just fun. So.
That's cool. And I imagine, I guess I'm assuming a little bit, but I find that as I've gotten older that a lot of times just jokes and humor is always out there. It kind of comes to you. If you observe the world enough, things as they are can be really funny. Do you find that when you're out walking, that you come up with these kind of interesting or different joke ideas?
Well, yeah, I think the best humor comes from shit that happens to you or in front of you. You know what I mean? Like, so you can actually
real shit.
Tell it from because you can tell it from your point of view, even if you don't make it. If it's not 100% real, no joke's 100% real. You have to fabricate. You have to add things to make it work. Because if not, if a real story was the best joke, your uncle at a barbecue would be the best comic in the world. You know what I mean? Because he's the guy who can tell stories about you guys. You have to make it so everybody gets it and change it around. But like you can relate. People can relate to your material more if your material comes from other people and other experiences than just yourself or your things, at least stuff they've gone through. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, people want to hear about worse versions of them. When a 400-pound guy is on stage, people laugh. Why? Because they might be fat, but they'll never be that fucking fat. So they can laugh at that. You know what I mean? That's what you laugh at.
Yeah, and that's what you find in life in general and in these podcasts and all of that. A lot of people, they become fans of yours because they relate to you. Like, it could be a show of 3, 4, 5 people, but you find that certain ones relate to this guy because it's more fit to their personality and so on. And I think that's what people look for when they come on here. They look for people that are kind of that they can relate to or kind of like them and have similar sense of humor and interest.
I think that's all this podcast world thing has become. All these small, there's 8 billion shows and they all have fan bases because people are like, I would hang with these dudes or I would hang with these ladies or these are, even if I wouldn't hang with them, these are the kind of people that share a point of view I have or watch the things I watch. And you feel like in this day and age when people can feel alone, when there's so many more ways to talk to people, you still feel like, oh, all these people are getting together and you don't feel alone when you're sitting on your couch with your 4 friends on the screen or whatever on your laptop and they're talking with you and you feel like you're hanging out with people. And that's why these chats are good. It's great for depression. We got back from the big circle, but like to know 3 people also think the same thing about the Marvel universe and how much it sucks now. Like that's great to know, you know, it's like.
Yeah, and I know, and I am motivated and encouraged when I see people. It encourages me to share my thoughts and feelings more when I see people being honest about their depression or what these shows and what these chats do for them. I think it makes us all more relatable when we're honest about it.
I mean, it does suck when you're feeling really sad. You're like, I'll watch a show to cheer up, and then they just talk about how much you suck. You're like, all right, not today.
Maybe change the channel a little bit. Extremely offensive. My Irish relatives would love it. There you go. See. Heck Ride has a comment here. He says, Black Santa versus Southern Santa. Black Santa wants to give you a pony. Southern Santa wants you to pull yourself up by your bootstraps so you can buy your own pony and accuses Black Santa of open borders. There you go. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. We got deep on that one.
Nice.
Who knew Santa could be so deep?
Black Santa doesn't give gifts to his own kids, though. He doesn't know who they are.
When's going to be my turn? Not a penis, LOL. It's a real tradition. They have Black Peter in the Netherlands. He's blacked from going down the chimney. There you go. All right.
Oh, okay.
See, we went racial right away.
Well, no, he just meant the soot, but you don't call it being blacked. he's just dirty.
Yeah, it means something totally different in the States.
Yeah, and in the Netherlands, you can say that, but here you can't say he's black. If you say someone got black, it's a porn.
Or a robbery. I don't know. It could be anything. You know? Who knows? Let's see. That's funny. Black Peter. So he's he won't be coming to the States anytime soon. Coming out the chimney. Hello there, boys and girls. Merry Christmas. How you and me doing?
Well, that was a good impression.
Oh, thank you. I know I can do some. Let's see.
What else is there? I'm a Santa.
I can do Foghorn Leghorn, sure. Let's see.
That's what I do for all my black voices. Foghorn Leghorn all day.
Exactly. Black or Southern, you go Foghorn.
That's all it was. Like, they literally, the guy's like, I could do a black voice. Like, could you do it with a hen? He's like, sure. It's like,
Yeah, Mel Blanc. That man was a genius. As I've got when
he
I grew
did
up
every
watching
racist voice there was, and he just got paid for it.
And got paid. I mean, in a day where black people weren't like prominent in Hollywood and all, and back in the 40s and all, and when you watch every cartoon and you after a while you're like Mel Blanc, Mel Blanc, Mel Blanc. I mean, just a genius, and yeah, really funny, entertaining guy. Let's see, Hack Ride, new political show on Hack Ride Studios. Santa versus Santa. There you go. Santa on Santa. All right. It's our friend Dave
Santa
Daffler
counter
checking in.
Santa. You can do that big show.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to step on you with my camera.
No, I stepped on you. You're good. You're doing black voice. You win.
Hey, man. It's our friend Dave Daffler checking in. And look who he shouts out right away. He don't shout out the host. He shouts out the lovely KB, Pat. There's your point right there.
No, she's like a mob boss. You have to give your respects when you walk into the room or you're fine.
You talk to the KB, but you talk to the BF, okay? Here you go. Pay at the door. Let's see. Hey at KB. Hack Ride is shouting out Dave Daffler. KB, hey Kyoto Dave. Dude, Hack Ride. Kyoto Whiskers. Bobby Nick's got 5 or 6 of them. Cigarettes, maybe? Let's see.
Black Santas?
Lungs, maybe? Let's see. Kyoto Whiskers. Hey, Birdie. It's too long at Dave Daffler. Yeah, we haven't seen Dave around a while. Bobby Salad. That's a name that was given to Bobby Nick by our friend Bob Levy. We called him Silent Bob one day because Bobby will sit here and he won't say much all the time. He'll say, "What do you?" Somebody said Silent Bob, and he goes, "What? Salad Bob?" I'm like, no. Salad and Bobby Nick have nothing to do with each other. Like, no, those
if I had to choose which one he has more, nicotine or salad, I would go with nicotine, though.
Exactly. So he has an ironic nickname. Salad Bob. Stormy says, so Pat doesn't steal jokes from other comics? Oh, we're getting back to the roast battle because after that, people were starting to admit that they just took like canned or standard kind of roast jokes and kind of.
I mean, if you watch like the ones on Comedy Central back in the day with Jeselnik and all those guys, yes, they would write something. Ray was kind of right. It was weird when he was breaking it down to each thing, and now he was doing it afterwards on his own show. But yeah, in those roastings, I think it's hard not to go generic. I mean, that's why I don't like doing them. But like, I don't really consider that part stealing because you're not really doing a joke. You're just kind of like, I'm going to shit on this guy because he's this. So therefore, I'll take these other things that have been said so you can understand what I'm making fun of. But yeah, to have other people write your joke, that wouldn't be fun for me. No, I'd rather fail with my own dumb thoughts than do well with someone else's.
Yeah. Yeah,
I know. I'll go ahead.
Go ahead, buddy. No, you go ahead, buddy.
The few dark jokes that Ray told, I had never even say those. And I hadn't heard him say them kind of jokes before. I thought those were pretty good.
Right.
When it got dark.
Yeah, when he started really the stuff about like anytime they go after like Chad's brother getting run over, which is, by the way, I know this world, like you just said, thick skin, but there's no thicker skin than just every day someone reminding you a sibling died. I mean, that's a little wild. I mean, I guess the brother didn't have a thick skin because of the tire. Anyway, but like,
shit.
See, but that's now I'm not being the dick, but it's just been weirdly open to the universe. They shit on Ray. Everyone knows that Ray's dad would take a shit while he showered. What the fuck? Like, why do I know that?
Right. It's funny when these guys are on the air for extended hours at a time, the little things about your life that leak out, and then all of a sudden they become the thing about you that people know.
Right, but they're the ones who leaked it out. Like there's no behind the music Chad Zumach. Like I can't, like they're telling us these things, and I know you're trying to share, but there's some things you don't throw out there. You know what I mean? Like how many siblings aren't here?
And so
I can relate to that because I do a lot of podcasting, and sometimes, you just blurt shit out from your life.
Yeah, but you don't say shit, so it's great. Like you're just sitting there and you're observing. So if you say one thing, that's you blurting.
Well, it depends. Right. It really depends what show I'm on. If I'm doing No Filter, I'm kind of hosting that, so I talk a lot more.
What have you shared that you wish you didn't?
Oh boy, that's
I
probably
didn't want to say a lot of the stuff that I've shared.
You already did.
Seriously, I mean. Yeah,
the most recent one would be that coagulated semen that you ate.
Whoa, wait a minute.
the chunky pussy debris.
There you go. Tell Pat that
It's
story because he
horrible.
looks like he's enjoying just the bullet points.
It's horrible. Well, okay.
Did
you
you
know,
say
I was,
chunky pussy debris?
yes, I was going down on this girl one time, and
Okay.
there was just this chunk of something on my tongue, and I pulled it off my tongue, and it was like some slimy white thing, and
You just followed someone else.
Yeah.
I don't think so. I think it was.
He's telling himself he didn't.
No, I think it was. I'm hoping it was some kind of infection.
I hope she's dying and not a whore.
He would rather it be an infection than be the leavings of the last person there, Pat.
Whatever, dude. Sloppy seconds are fine. At least you got some. You know what I mean? She was a giving person. Just be happy.
But I grew up in the day. I guess we all did in the Dean Martin celebrity roast, where those guys would just come out and just slay each other. I mean, that was kind of what was expected of each other when they would do those roasts back in those days.
Right, but it was also like they were all pretty famous and had money. Like they didn't have to do that. They were just drinking and like it would get more cash or whatever. But it was wild. There was no internet, so they literally were just getting together to be dickheads to each other, which is crazy. But when they started doing the Comedy Central ones, that was more of we're doing this for a spot to get good ratings. The more and more, like KB did that show to get a lot of people to watch. Maybe the viewers were down. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that's why. Why wouldn't he do that? Let's have the two people that everybody likes to shit on each other, so we can shit on them. It was a smart move to do, but it's a lot of pressure. Chad knows that everyone's going to shit on him. He even came out saying everyone's going to like Ray better, which is funny because Ray's not always likable, but they're going to like him more than Chad. Ray knows that he keeps talking about how he's a joke writer, so he's got to be a joke writer. All the pressure they can put on themselves to do this, they only had 8 days to do it. It's crazy. Of course they wasn't going to hit. No matter what they did, they could have done the greatest. They could have been Greg Giraldover's Anthony Jeselnik-like jokes, and everyone still would have said it sucked.
Yeah, people showed up. Their starting point was, how can I shit on this?
Right.
And they go from there.
Because they're watching Misery Loves Company, the show where you shit on everyone.
And like the point you made earlier is that these are all guys that eventually Kevin will piss off and detach from people, but then they end up coming back. Ray came back, and Chad. Whoever thought that Chad would come back after all the back and forth and the things that were said? And
me,
there you
100%.
go.
Chad needs that.
Yeah, and I think Kevin does.
Bob
to
will
an
be
extent
back
too.
someday too. Bob has such a heart that they'll make up and they'll do it, and then everybody will want to see that. You know what I mean?
I have a feeling I can believe that. I think you might be right about that because, as I said earlier, Bob is so kind of willing to forgive that if the conditions are right, I can see Bob. He doesn't want to hold a grudge. He likes just being happy and kind of moving on with life.
And if he comes back, the super chats are going to be fucking nuts. He'll make some money. Obviously, he's a businessman too. They'll be great.
Man.
Stuttering John getting $3,000. That was only a couple months ago when people were paid a lot of money to see Stuttering John, and now he's just on hanging out with Joey C for $3 in a broken dream. But like he was able to get all that money, so people when they see someone do something they're not supposed to do, they will fucking throw the cash out.
Yeah, that was amazing. Yeah. We got a little heat off of that at the time because right after the 3,000 thing, we managed through conversations going on the Shuley show and them sniping him. We ended up having him on our show, Replayables, for $500. So we got him on the discount.
Oh my God, you paid him $500?
It wasn't like exactly my choice. It kind of came out very naturally through a conversation like, how can we get John on the Shuley network and just to chill out and do a show and, on the channels and all. He said he would never do the channels. And so for a mere $500 after Kevin laid out $3, we put out $500 and had him on. So we kind of little momentary heat off.
But you probably made enough money back at least to make it worthwhile. You're open. So it's like.
It served its purpose. It kind of drew attention to our show. And that was kind of what we were going for.
And you notice later if the people stayed or they just came for him. Like that's the hard thing too. Sometimes when you have a guy on like that, everybody watches for that guy, but then they don't stay the next time. It wasn't worth it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But like it wasn't a loss. So, but it was just seemed like it was the timing of it. He was just coming back into this universe and it was like, hey, let's see if we can do this. And we sure as hell did it. And we had him on for approximately half an hour. We started getting him rolling, and then Shuley decided that he was going to jump in, and John booked like within minutes. So.
It is weird to me that this world has become people expect money to be on these things because like these shows were always built to be like, oh, I go on with radio too. You don't get paid to be a guest. The payment is the promotion time in front of a different audience to let people know what you're doing or who you are. Like when these guys who were just like nobodies just in the chat and got on and they would hear, oh, this guy gets paid. They're like, where's my money? Give me. It's like, what are you getting money for? You don't do anything. Like you just were on a thing you were gonna watch anyway. You didn't go out of your way. You didn't travel anywhere. You're at your house. And you just turned on your computer and spoke a little bit. Like, you guys have me on. This is cool. I might get some people to go over my YouTube thing. People might know who I am. If not, it's still just fun chatting with you. But to expect a payment is just wild. Like, any money that comes in should be for you guys for putting in the work and doing the thing, you know?
I'm glad you're clear about that point about not receiving payment. I'm glad we're clear on that.
I think I've never asked to be insane. No. Like, anyone even offered me, I'm like, give that to the other fucking people. I don't need to get paid to be an idiot in my own house.
I often wondered when that dynamic was going to change, because you do see a lot of people showing up because a certain person shows up and they can tell that the money is being thrown at the show because of them. And I was wondering when it was going to be like, hey, mofo, like the reason you're getting this money is because of me and I want in on it. The dynamic changes a little bit for people that want to pay guys, I guess.
As long as they're upfront with it. If someone's like, hey, if you want me to come on, I know you're having me come on so you can get super chats to make money. If you're just on a show, like I go on with you guys and I know the show, but like I don't even think about how you get super chats or not. I don't think about that. I go, I'm just gonna go on a show because it's fun to go on and chat with people that are fun, like and get to joke around and be an idiot. Like at the end of the day, I like leaving my house to be an idiot or going. And all my jobs are me being an idiot, and if I get to do that with more people, I have more fun. But to go there and go, oh, look what I'm doing for you, then you're not even being fun. You're just like, you're a whore.
Yeah. That's what I enjoy about
me for my shit.
I enjoy seeing you do your thing on Facebook, because you are out there a lot, and you are, like I said, whether it be you're doing your own shows, you participate in open mics, you do radio, you do compound, and every time I see you, I'm like, this guy is just constantly busy and constantly doing it. So I can tell you have a lot of love for your game just by the stuff that you put out there that I can see.
And I'm also so sad and alone, so I have to. That's what it is. So it's like,
well, I always see you're always kind of self-deprecating like that about this is my life and all, but to me, there's something really good about you being able to live this kind of just life that you want to, that you just want to go out there and be silly and all. So I see the good side of it, and maybe you kind of see like maybe the negative side of it. I don't know.
No, it's not negative or good or bad. It's like, okay, I have one motto I've lived by for the last like 10 years. My whole life is me trying to make my obituary cooler. You know what I mean? Like, I want to do stuff that not just so people reflect it, but like if someone did go, what did Pat Oates do? Did he have a lot of money? Absolutely not. Was he able to do this and that? Whatever. No. Did he love the shit out of his kids more than anything in the world? They're always first and foremost. He's a good dad, and more importantly, he lived life having fun. Because everyone can say, do the things you love, but at the end of the day, we get all caught up in like having things or whatever. And yes, would it be nice to not be stressed out about bills? Would it be nice not living show to show, paycheck to paycheck? Sure, maybe, but I've done that, and I didn't enjoy life. I wasn't happy. I have fun making people laugh and doing things, and I'd rather struggle financially but feel good about myself and having a great time than others, and then doing the stuff I love than sitting there and just being a slave to shit, So.
And that's cool, man. And I do see the happiness, and I see you having fun and out there, and so I admire that a lot. And I do feel that statement about making your obituary more interesting, because up until like 2 years ago or so, I never had a notion or ever thought that I would be here sitting in front of a screen or in front of you and interviewing people and doing this. But you get a little older, you get a little wiser, you realize your clock is running out on you, and you wanna live a life and make your obituary more interesting than everyone else's. So I'm on that mission with you, bro.
As you guys, from doing this, it's like if you sit here, like as a comic when you first start, people are like, oh, I hope I get to be on Netflix now, especially. I hope I get to be on so-and-so. And they set this goal that if they don't hit it, they feel disappointed. Yeah. I don't set any goals in that regard. But I also am open to any door that I didn't know existed. Like the radio thing, I never thought would happen. I got to be a guest on radio shows, and then I was like, oh, this is fun. I'll ask a question. Can I be on this? When I my TV credit, someone asked me to pretend my mom was dead on a reality show. And if you look up Extreme Cheapskate, Dead Mom's Clothes on YouTube, it's got 4 million views where people think my mom died. And this lady talks to me, and I'm on this show. And I got paid $50, and I signed an NDA not to talk about it. But I talk about it all the time because my mom's alive. Fucking prove me wrong, lawyers. So it's like whatever. But it's like people are like, what's your TV? It was silly. I got to pretend that, and I got to be on this stupid thing where people will watch it and go, holy shit, is that guy? And then they'll write in the comments, dude, he was on stage saying this is fake. So it's even funny, and they fight back and forth. I got to do a lot of dumb shit because I just went for it and had fun and didn't think about shit. Anthony Cumia stuff was because my buddy Steve Halligan, who was a guest, was like, hey, you'd be fun on here. And I didn't know anything about Cumia's solo show. I was like, maybe I'll try it. And then I got to just meet Anthony Cumia because I didn't say no to it. You know what I mean? All this shit is just because you say, fuck it. WATP has me on. I get tons of new fans from that. That started because Carl shit on me. He made fun of my podcast. I was a subject. And I shared it that next day because I thought it was hilarious how they shit on me. And he's like, that's really cool that you rolled with it. I'm like, you're fucking funny. If I can watch your show and laugh at you shit on other people, why can't I enjoy it when you shit on me? And you made some good points. So I was like, this is kind of cool. So all of a sudden, he's like, come on the show. And now I'm the guy who gets to be on all the time. So
That's neat.
If you keep your mind open to shit, cooler shit happens.
Yeah, you made the point. I was getting ready to say a thing to the open-mindedness. Be open to what's funny about yourself, and be honest about what the things that people see about you and are truthful about. So that's pretty cool.
You got into my head of all that, man.
Yeah, if we just stop fucking worrying about what everybody fucking thinks and just go, am I having fun? Is this fun for me? Am I having a good time at the end of the day? You get to meet people you never thought you'd hang out with. You get to fucking experience things you never thought experience. My whole life is also I would rather learn shit. I don't want to meet people that know all the shit I know. I want to meet people that know shit I don't know. I want to learn shit till I die. I want to meet interesting people. Even if I don't care about it, I like to know about it. You know what I mean? So just fucking keep an open mind to shit. You don't know if if you just go out hating everything, then it's not fun. You're just angry.
Good shit. All right.
Yeah, well, that was my Zen gay portion, so I'm sorry.
I like it. Scott's going to be pondering this episode for hours afterward. He's like, we gave him food for thought. He's like, you're blowing my mind up right now. That's cool. Well, we hope you're enjoying your time here, sitting here with Pat Oates. You're watching BF Live. This is BF Live 26. Please like, share, and subscribe if you haven't already. Hey, Pat, you familiar with the F1 racing that was going on out in Las Vegas this past weekend?
No. Well, I know that is racing, but I don't know anything about cars.
Apparently for months they've been cordoning off certain parts of Las Vegas in an attempt to make a city track. They're going to be racing all around the city. And I've been seeing on social media that the citizens are complaining about it and the tourists because they can't get to their attractions in normal ways and all. So they attempted to have this F1 race, the first one on Friday. And let me refresh the video here, and I'll show you what happened, because this F1 race lasted exactly 10 minutes. 10 minutos, and there's a certain reason why. So you got these F1 Formula One track cars going around this track. Check out this little report. Oh, if I can unmute it.
Began and then ended and was canceled in less than 10 minutes. Just a few minutes after getting started, the Ferrari car hit a drain cover on Las Vegas Boulevard, causing a substantial amount of damage to his vehicle. We could see a large burst of sparks from the Encore Tower suites, and then the car's journey came to an end in front of Paris. The vehicle was rendered unusable. The race was unable to be continued, and if they're able to do the second scheduled race tonight, Ferrari will not be able to participate. Right now, crews are working on the affected area. There appears to be teams of people walking the track looking for issues, but it seems like this is something they would have already done. I will say that this is consistent with the quality of road work I've experienced in Nevada, and no one who lives here will be surprised. The massive grandstands in front of the Bellagio fountains appear to be mostly empty, and those are $18,000 seats.
Damn.
We are not off to a great start. People are disappointed and waiting for the next update. I'll put all the current information in the comments. Share your thoughts and follow me for all the Vegas.
So there you go. So turns into a little bit of debacle. After 10 minutes of the race, a pothole took them out, Pat.
Yeah.
Who didn't
it's
see
almost
that
like
coming?
those roads aren't for racing.
Yeah, exactly. But who would have thought that? I mean, it's a Ferrari, but here they're trying to block off the city. It just seems like totally unnecessary. I mean, that city counts on being a live heartbeat of people constantly going in and out of the places, and to do something like that just seemed kind of real silly. And I just thought how after all this planning and everything, 10 minutes and it was done.
Yeah, but Vegas thoughts are always, let's do something outrageous. Like, who would have thought anyone would go to a fake Paris? But I've been there. It's like, it's the Eiffel Tower in fucking Vegas. I'm going to go see fake Elvis. You always go to see shit that's not really the shit. So why wouldn't you go? Remember when Nick Cage flew his plane into it in that movie Con Air? Come on, people do fake shit all the time. So, like, I can see Vegas going, fuck it. Let's just pretend Vegas is a racetrack. Nowhere else can pull it off. They obviously couldn't pull it off, but they're always about the big stupid shit.
Yeah, most places say why. Vegas says why not? Why not have a big track? Why not build a big? You saw that big building in the background, the Sphere. It's like a big just LED dome that they can put smiley faces and all kind of crazy shit on, and that's probably come out of not why do we do that? Why not make a building that looks like that? You know?
Well, if anything, the woman that did that is a fucking bitch because she broke the first rule of Vegas. What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. So shut the fuck up. Let them crash their cars. You're not supposed to tell anybody. That's the rules.
There you go. She did. That is the big rule. Let me find my spot.
It's really for hookers, but
yeah, they're
that's
probably real upset.
The old Norm Macdonald joke, which is fucking great. He's like, I guess what it really means is you can cheat on your wife there. It's like,
yeah, right. Yeah, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas, right? That's what that
it just
means.
You can fuck other women and they won't tell your wife.
Ooh. Oh wait a minute. We're going back to Bobby Nick's comment. Was it yeast, Bobby Nick? Was it yeast?
It was coagulated semen.
I'm hoping so. You shut up, Scott.
Scott's convinced it's coagulated semen, and Bobby is partly gay now. That's
so did it taste like bread or you?
You know what? It didn't taste like anything. It didn't smell like anything either. So that's, I've Googled yeast infections.
You Googled, can I get pregnant from eating another man's jizz?
Well, I never went that far.
It's the yeast you could do. Let's see. They've done some investigations. Dr. Steve said you can make cottage cheese with it. Oh, damn.
Yeah, if you start farming it, that's a little much, but yeah.
You do.
Wait, does she watch the show? Does she have to sit there and listen to you talk about how you ate chunks out of her?
No.
All right. Well, are you guys still friends?
I haven't talked to her in like 5 years.
That's nice that the memory remains. I wonder if she remembers. It was weird that one time that guy ate that fluffernutter I put in my pussy.
I put it in my pants and the son of a bitch just ate it. He didn't give me a chance to take it out.
Yeah. I kept telling him it's fine, don't go down on me, but he was just a trooper. He went right in there.
Let's see. Chris Mack says maybe like 6 weeks ago I asked about a potential New Year's Eve reunion show. Kevin said he'd ask Bob and Chad, but who knows? So there you go. I don't know if you watched that New Year's show last year, but Chad was drunk off his ass. I think a lot of us guys were watching it. He was the only one that was controlled the show at the time because Kevin had no ability to control his own shows. So they were literally like on the air, stuck with the same super chat up for like a half an hour or so because Chad like got off screen and like passed out drunk and just left him on the show. It was funny.
Yeah, I saw people talk about it, but I wasn't able to watch the show. But yeah, if Bob comes back, I don't want other people on. I want the two of them for a little. You could have a guest on later, maybe like a Stevie Lou or somebody who's not going to get wild. But I want them to kind of work out their shit on air in front of us. I don't want someone else making KB think I should shit on him more or Bob do this or that. I'd want the two of them hashing out their shit by themselves,
Yeah, well, like I said, knowing how forgiving Bob is and wanting to move on with things, I could see that possibly happening. I can't.
Knowing how much KB likes super chat money, I could see the two of them doing that because that would be a huge draw. Money,
and like you made that point earlier that once they get back together again, there's a good chance they likely will because it seems to be these things cycle and what we've known in this podcast world so far. Bobby Nick, nothing has made me nauseated in years. Congratulations.
Hey, no problem, buddy.
It's got to be tough though for that girl to look down and just see half of your face like this. Just like
Could be tough for any girl. Doesn't SJ have an only trans channel now? Wait a minute, only trans. You misspelled that. Let's see. Please hit the like button, thumbs up, please. Terry Nee is
not only trans. Would that be that only trans people can subscribe, or you're only viewing trans stuff?
Good point. Hey.
Maybe both.
Because it's what OnlyFans is that you're supposed to be just fans, not people who hate us, which by the way, we all know it's all haters on there too. But like it would be just trans people who watch it.
That's a good semantical point when you say only trans. Is it right? Trans fans or trans content? Let's see, there's the tip. Tuki's Nana, Dave Daffler is so naughty. There you go. He's shouting out Tuki's Nana. All right. Terry Nee, that's Ray. Oh, that's why. That's Ray, why I like Ray DeVito. He's out there. You might not know this about Scott, but Scott is also a big defender of and fan of Ray DeVito. Big Ray DeVito fan. Yeah.
Listen, he becomes the butt of all the jokes, but to be able to take all the shit that guy takes and still go out there and he is another one who's like, he really tries to see the best in everybody. You know what I mean? Like, he really does. Then people call him out for doing that, which is so wild because most times you're like, you herald a good guy. But in this world, they're like, fucking look at Ray fucking finding the good in shit, fucking nerd. It's like, all right. I just don't know if Ray was built for that world. I'm not built for that world. And I couldn't be in that like the way he is. So
and you seem to know that. Yeah.
But Ray also, I think once you start getting the attention and the super chats and the money, and you weren't getting attention, he's a comic that was out there but not known. This little part of the world now knows him. It's got to be hard to leave that world. You know what I mean? Like, you still go in there and want that attention. So more power to him for being able to do it. Him, Chat, all these guys who can just be a fucking pinata for the beatings they take and just keep doing it every day. You know, I couldn't do that.
Yeah, he's a nice guy, but he does take his share of beatings on all these shows. And I think this whole podcast universe was kind of too big for him to wrangle. I think he thought he could kind of like control the narrative, but you find that once a show starts talking about it's like out of his hands.
Well,
you know?
Normally, when you're a comedian and someone asks you to come on their show, they want to highlight you and let you be funny. He started going on these shows thinking, oh, they're going to respect me. I'm a comic. Again, they're all like, you're an idiot. You're dumb. Your dad takes poops. You know, you have a pink blanket. Fuck you. And he's like, what the fuck? Like, so he just tried to go hang with them, but then was like, oh, maybe I'll still try to be a good guy and see if I can win them over. It's not going to work. No matter what, you can't argue with hate behind a screen. You know what I mean? You just can't.
Yep. And then I think that led to him the whole thing about I'm a joke writer. I pick up a pen. You know, he was trying to distinguish himself a little bit, and that ultimately kind of led to this whole roast idea, I think.
Right, but to say that to Kevin Brennan, who's had an HBO special and had a sitcom, even though it didn't make it, Kevin's done so much more than Ray. You can't tell him to pick up a pen. Like, you just can't. It's like the guy's done so much.
He sure has. Chris Mack says a Russian Uber driver told me they shut the fountains to build the stands there. Yep. Seemed like maybe the locals weren't really thrilled. Yes, $14 million car taken out by a pothole. Look at that.
Who gives a fuck about the locals? The locals, they got all their money. You're trying to get new people to come to Vegas constantly. Like,
I think if I was in charge of Vegas, I would care the least probably about the local because you count on that tourist money so much more, right?
Well, especially if like, okay, who's not coming here? I don't know, white trash. Let's have a NASCAR race like that. They'll come and then they'll spend their money. So like you have an F1 thing, and then people that wouldn't normally go will go for that thing, and then they're going to stay somewhere. They're going to eat, play. Yep. You've got them there. You're trying to constantly get new people. Same with these podcasts. Again, you have a new guest on or a new. Let's have a hooker on. People will watch. Let's have this guy with one leg. Like when KB had that guy on that was pulling hair out of his head and eating it and shit. Like I don't know what the fuck that was, but like, he was trying to get new audience. You know?
Yeah. And you never know where it's going to come from. But that's what's interesting about this whole chat family is that we're all kind of made up of all these different chat shows, kind of families, if you will. The floor pizza? Oh, we're talking about floor.
Is that the shit inside her pussy we're talking about? Floor pizza?
Floor pizza. The ground floor. Formula One trans? Wait a minute. Are we still talking about racing or are we talking about sexuality again? Stormy, is your top off yet? Asking for a friend. Come on, Dave Daffler. All right, y'all. Well, we hope that you have really enjoyed episode 26 of BF Live. I want to thank Pat Oates for staying around and coming on and being a guest on BF Live. I appreciate you. Throw some plugs out there, Pat. Tell everybody where we can kind of find you at around.
You know what? What I would really like is if you just went over to my YouTube channel and just threw it a quick subscribe on there and then check out my shit. So all that shit's down there. Well, me and Bobby have our show. I put a lot of my comedy clips on there as well. So just hang on over there. I don't really do too much social media. If I do, it's just Instagram. Find me on there, Pat Oates. You can go on there. But just follow the YouTube channel. And, make sure you keep watching this show. You guys are awesome, and this is a lot of fun. Thank you for having me.
Thanks, man. I appreciate you spending an extended period of time with us and agreeing to come on my show, BF Live. We had fun with you last time. We had fun with you this time.
Anytime, man. Mondays, I don't do shit, so anytime.
Awesome, man. When we talk about you were trying to find maybe a time slot that works for you and Bobby. I kind of messed around until I kind of landed on here on kind of Monday middays. But it's hard to find a spot in this crowded podcast community where you're not kind of overlapping like another guy or doing a competing show.
Right. And Stormy, keep your top on.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Don't listen to these people.
But I want to thank Pat once again. See, maybe more chat. There it is. She keeps the top. That's Dave and her little joke. But yeah, so go out there and check out, please. Go out there and go in a chat, and when you're in there, say, "Hey man, I saw you on BF Live," and you might get 1 or 1.5 people. But, 1.5 people you didn't have. There you go.
Yeah, just write, "Hey, I eat chunks," then I'll know what you're talking about.
Oh, there you go. Or I know chunks.
Do you call her chunks?
No.
You should not in your phone change it to chunks.
Yeah, that's what I will do.
Everyone else does. All right. All righty then.
Yeah, that first guy.
All right, y'all. I'm gonna pull this train into the station. So for Bobby Nick from up in Canada, for my man Scott Fitzpatrick, I want to thank once again our guest, comedian Pat Oates. I said guest and host, and I got ghost. Pat Oates, thank you, comedian Pat Oates. Go out there, like you say, at Pat Oates. Please like, share, and subscribe at Pat Oates channel on YouTube. Go check out the POS show with him and Bobby Tambur. Set your notifications when it comes on. We got one last one. Scott says, you don't have to go, but you can't stay here, and flick the bean button on your way out. All right.
Unless it has chunks on it, then don't touch it.
Unless it has chunks on it. Once again, thanks again, Pat, for being here. Peace and love, and we'll see you next week on BF Live. We out of here, folks.
Peace.
If I can find my closer. Come on.